It's a killer.
I forgot to stream, by the way, sorry. So welcome to the stream. We're playing more Mothership. They've just arrived.
Is this working?
They've just arrived on a station, and we're introducing Killer's character to the party. They had basically just been left custody after explaining the events of the Epsilon 14 incident to
You gotta
Corpus.
do the entire introduction spiel again.
No, I was getting it, but I was trying to get my fucking icon or my token to not be a raccoon drinking milk. So. Which I got on my character sheet, but it's not there, so I'm just not gonna worry about it.
The Media Corp officer doesn't even introduce you properly. He just kind of wanders off, rolling his eyes.
Go in the chat, right? Like the chat area. Go down to the bottom. There should be an as.
Oh right.
Then like something you can pull up a whole bunch of names. Change that to your character, and your token should change to your characters.
I should be playing as Damian Moore now. And I have a picture in my default token. Or I guess maybe it has to be avatar as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello. I'm Security Officer Moore. I was assigned to this ship for additional security, I guess.
Well, glad to have you aboard. Doesn't hurt to have more guns in the ship.
Yep. So I just come aboard and drop my stuff, or what do I do next?
Yeah, I'll show you what locker you'll use. And
Cool.
Go ahead and show them.
So you guys head back down the umbilical on the docking deck and basically head to the Kahadash. What are the rest of you guys doing while Sana shows Damien around? You have free autonomy, by the way, to wander around the station. Now, there's a couple of basic shops and, like a little hospital.
Are we meant to see a station?
No, there's no map for this. This is just like a introducing color kind of area out of character. It's basically like a wrap up to last session.
Well, I'll be in the bar.
Alright. There is a local bar that's used mainly by people transferring between ships or heading out deeper into the room. They have
the stuff we've been through, I think I need a drink.
The company tops up your fuel tanks without you guys having to pay. And they're still negotiating your credits.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was actually going to ask who are paid and how much.
So it turns out there was a filing error when they issued your ship, and they never wiped clear the debt from your initial couple of mining contracts. So they've adjusted the value owing on the ship, and you actually only owe 628 million now. They neglect to give you paperwork telling you how much you paid off in the past, or how much they gave you for the Epsilon 14 incident. So you're not really left standing if it's the company's fault you owe that much, or if it's actually you've been paid fairly.
Fucking corpos.
Corpos.
It's too real. It's too real. I'm too immersed.
They also restock your galley because sending you on missions, they normally pay for fuel and supplies, at least to a minimum standard, like basic rations.
I mean, food's pretty cheap.
They stock the egg tubes.
Yeah. Yes. What about the deluxe egg tube?
No, you can pay for that yourselves.
No.
You got premium on that? Where's your platinum card?
What's Aaron doing while this is happening?
Good question. What is there for androids to do on a space station?
You can talk with the locals. There is a bar. There is some general stores. There is actually a small library, normally frequented by scientists or archaeologists heading out deeper. It's kind of a honesty system. It's all pretty basic though. This isn't a big station.
Oh, we'll see what they have there.
Alright. You enter a room that's kind of decorated in a pretty old style, almost trying to evoke Earth styles of the past. It's got some wood panels, and it's a very simple two-tiered room with kind of a railing around the top tier, and then some like desks with reading lights and a couple of terminals in the ground floor. There's kind of a man with some spectacles at the end of his nose, just kind of looks up at you and then goes back to one of the terminals. And there's like a ladder up to the second tier, and then just bookshelves around all the walls. It's not very big, it's probably like 20 meters across in all dimensions.
Hey, Lolly. Look at chat real quick.
I'll pick something at random out of the second floor.
You find a book on the flora and fauna of Takeshi 9, which is apparently an ocean world, judging by the cover.
I'll just pick through it, get the general bits of information, and then find another book and keep doing that until I get comms from the crew that they're ready to leave.
You find out there's a plant called the Mayshore, which is highly poisonous and very common on the planet.
Interesting.
While you're looking at random books, what's Nova Stellar up to?
I don't know. I think I would like to forget. Question. Are there any catnip dispensaries on the station? Guessing not.
There's no specific pet stores or supply stores, but there is a general store, which would have, like, at least a small quantity of cat supplies.
Alright then, I guess I go there.
As you go there, you actually notice Morgan from Epsilon 14. He's buying some tinned tuna for Prince. He waves at you, kind of sheepishly, and he says, like, he kind of walks over to you and says, "Hey, I never got to thank you guys for saving me and the guys." He kind of motions down at Prince, who's on like a little leash. We owe you a debt that can never be repaid, but I'm hoping the company at least got you squared away and innocent of detonating the station.
Mostly. We're back to square one. We got paid, but we don't know how much. Damn corpos and this stupid paperwork.
He kind of nods wryly. He grabs his tinned tuna from the counter and waves at you and kind of heads off.
Not to detract from that scene, but this gives me really like Goofy the dog versus Pluto the dog vibes.
Yeah.
Continue.
The shopkeeper looks up at you. It's kind of a gruff-looking man. Old, probably like 60s. White hair and a kind of salt and pepper beard. Very greasy looking.
And I'll go up to him and ask, hello there, sir. Do you happen to have any catnip on you? In your store?
He looks at you, sees the cat ears and tail, and kind of just rolls his eyes. No, we just carry pet food and standard food and very basic stuff. We don't have fancy, sundries this far out.
Understandable. You got any cheap alcohol though?
Aye,
In the pet store?
we've got that in. It's a general store.
Oh.
We've got that in spades. he has what looks like potentially a byproduct of standard fuel from what you can tell by the smell, and some very basic kind of like steel kind of containers. No, sorry, aluminium. It's like aluminium containers. They look almost like thermos. 50 credits a bottle. Oh, also, out of character, I times all your money by 10 because I did something wrong on the character sheets when we started. So you should all have 10 times what you had.
I was about to say, I have 23 credits. How am I supposed to afford that?
You should have a 230 now.
Yep, 230. How much is it?
50 credits. He looks at you again.
Alright, then. I'll take it.
Alright. Yeah, he motions to the terminal with the price coming up. You can insert your holotape, your money cassette into the terminal, and pull the lever down to authorize the transaction.
Right.
You hear kind of a ka-shunk and a whir as the credits on your holotape on the display dwindle down. You've lost 50 credits, but you've gained 1 bottle of suspicious booze.
Yeah, that'll put some fur on your chest.
Yeah. Alright. So the contract has been sent to the bridge of the Kart Hadasht. You are to head out past one of the sort of way beacons and then jump once you pass the station to some coordinates that have been given to you by the tower network aerial passed on from the Meteor Core officers. So, is there anything else anyone wants to do while you're still in the station?
I'm assuming we still haven't got our money yet, right?
No.
Fuck.
There is a small Meteor Core office upstairs, though, past all the kind of like standard trading area.
Yeah, I want to go there.
All right.
After I get done showing our new officer around the ship.
Cool. You head past the kind of basically the docking deck, up the stairs into the trading quarters. Past you see Nova Stella talking to a general store owner. You also see the small library where Erin is kind of vibing with a book. It's not a big room, but it's got kind of a couple of different corners that all have something interesting. There's stairs up to a catwalk that lead to some sort of corporate offices. And as you enter the Meteor Corp one, emblazoned with the orange and cream logo, you see like a little receptionist. It's clearly a very well manicured android. Hello, how can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to discuss about payments for my contract.
Oh, of course. We can normally handle that here. What vessel do you come from?
The Hadash.
Cartadash. Oh, that's the one that docked recently, isn't it?
Correct.
She starts typing on her terminal, while you see a man in an office behind her, behind like a glass kind of door, is looking up over his desk from his terminal at you guys. Is Damien Moore with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he looks over at both of you as well. He stands up from his desk while she's typing on the terminal and comes out of the office. And he says, "Oh, welcome. I'm aware of your ship. We're still trying to process the funds. They should be sent very imminently. We've just sent you your the coordinates for the jump to your next destination. It's another mining station."
Okay. Yeah, we'll probably head out as soon as we get our payment from the previous contract.
Understandable. We don't want you to spend too much time here, so we're trying to expedite that as quickly as possible. But in a world transmission and how long that takes, he kind of just shrugs like it's a common thing.
I see. Well, yeah, we'll hang around. As soon as we get our payment, we'll get to work on the next contract.
Sure. If you haven't heard from us in the next day or so, I'd say come back here and we can check again for you. But as far as we know, we've sent through the requisition order. Shouldn't take too long.
We'll do.
And you should get a notification on your bridge once the the long-range comms transmissions come through.
Very well. Y'all have a nice day.
You too. Good luck out there. They kind of both smile and wave friendly. The android obviously a bit more prepared and formal, seeing as it's programmed to be courteous.
So, Officer Moore. Looks like we're going to be here for a little bit. Fuck it. Went to the bar. I'll always like to know officers under me.
Sure.
Let's go.
Lead the way.
You enter the
Alright.
bar. It's pretty dingy. It's got some neon signs on the outside. There's a jukebox playing some sort of classic rim rock. And you see Phil at the bar having a big drink. What's Phil drinking?
Whiskey.
Nice.
And he's terrible at drinking it, because he doesn't even drink coffee. He just pours it and smells it.
There's like 6 bar stools up against the bar. There's a very staticky TV playing what looks like some sort of sport ball. The bar owner is a tattooed red-haired woman. Looks like she'd be attractive if she was a little bit younger. She's
no.
washing out a big flagon with a tea towel. There's lots of kind of old American style diner booths along another wall, like with ripped kind of red vinyl seats. It's definitely seen better days, but such is life out here this far out of the core.
I get us seated at the bar and look over to Damien. So what's your poison?
Really anything. I'll just look at the redhead woman and just put up like a 2, like peace sign kind of thing.
Yeah, she gets 2 fingers of the pretty rough alcohol the station normally serves into a small glass.
Alrighty.
She types something into a little terminal under the bar. You assume it's your tab.
Yeah.
All right. I take a drink after we receive it. So, tell me about yourself.
Well, haven't been in the security business all that long. Just got out of the Corps a couple months ago. Kind of went
Okay.
from job to job. Didn't really feel like being a busboy right after having a couple tours around the outer colonies. Didn't really seem like my kind of gig, so I wanted to get back in kind of an action role. And one of my buddies recommended this gig, said he was doing pretty well in it for the past couple years after he got out, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Went on one gig a couple weeks ago, and kind of went south. It was only me and one other person made it out. I guess they kind of threw in the towel once we got back here, and I've just been kind of waiting for a new assignment for the past couple days.
Well, if anything went like our last contract, you'll definitely be seeing some more action. That's for sure. It definitely won't be a boring job. I can guarantee that.
Well, that's what I like to hear.
Unfortunately, as much as I would love it to be a boring job, but hey, I just like easy paychecks.
Hey, well, whether it's boring or it's nonstop action and run and gun, gig's a gig. As long as I can just keep on my feet and not be sitting too long.
Yeah, so long as keep your nose clean and all that shit, which shouldn't be too much of a problem for you. You'll continue getting paid. Sometimes there's delays, as you witnessed earlier, but that doesn't happen too often, and it's usually worth the pay.
Well, shit. I mean, a couple times in the Corps, we'd be getting pretty sparse pay here and there just because of back orders from the outer colonies. Pay not reaching us too often, so nothing I'm not used to.
Yeah.
Aaron, while you're in the library, you get a chime over your short-range comms unit. It's Mommy on the phone from the ship. Aaron, Mommy here.
Go ahead.
We basically received a transmission from MediaCorp at the bridge here. Do you want me to relay that to your personal terminal?
Please do.
Do you want me to relay that to the rest of the crew as well?
Please do.
Alright. There's a small display, kind of like a pager, on all your short-range comms. And you see a short kind of message appear from Mommy and a small chime go off. That basically goes into detail of the MediaCorp transmission has come through, and you've all been paid, except Damien, obviously having just signed on. But you've all been paid 1,000 credits each after tax, filing fees, transport fees, and then what you assume is an automatic payment on the ship that you don't really see any details about. So, net after everything like that, you've got 1,000 credits each.
Sweet.
Just a shit ton of red numbers and then one single black number at the very bottom.
Exactly.
Oh god.
Takes a while to get the details because it's all going past on one small little OLED screen. But you've now been paid, and you are free to head towards your next mission if you would like to, when you'd like to leave, once you've got everything you need. You also get a message from Mommy saying ship has been refueled fully from the station, and the galley has been restocked by a couple of the dock workers.
Okay.
They've taken in some cardboard boxes and stuff.
I guess after we're done bullshitting around a little bit at the bar, I go ahead and pay our tab. I don't know how much it's going to be.
It's 120 credits.
Oh my god.
You guys paying separately, or do you want to pay all together?
I just got a bottle.
I'll pay for it.
Alright. Lady deducts it from your holotape.
That's
Hands it back to you.
Alright, so since we just got paid, we're heading out soon. We'll head back to the ship and get squared away. Before we do that, we still need to do some things around here. That's fine. Just know we'll be leaving soon. I'm going to go get some shit.
Alright, I'll meet you back at the ship.
Do a little two-finger salute. And go to the shop, weapon shop, to get a stun baton.
It's the same shop. He's just got a couple of weapons on the back wall. Above the counter. He looks at you. Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Pretty good. Used to be a security officer myself. You look like your old
nice.
business. I bet you'll be running one of these shops like me 20 years from now.
We'll see.
Oh man, I'd love to get back in the saddle one day though, that's for sure. He kind of looks off in the distance wistfully. He obviously had a pretty gentle career. You know, anyone that had seen some real shit wouldn't have wanted to go back.
Yeah, I was in the corporate wars. He doesn't want to come back to that.
It's too real. It's too real.
So anyway, would you happen to have a stun baton on stock?
Yeah, we got a couple. We did used to have a security officer armory here, but I think with them reducing the the investment in the station, if you will, he kind of gestures around looking at the dilapidated nature of the station. Yeah, they basically offloaded it all to me. So yeah, I can sell you one.
Okay. Would you also have a vibe shetty?
No, I don't have any of those.
Okay. Do you know anywhere else I could get that?
I don't know anyone that's got one here, honestly.
Those are probably a little bit more higher end.
Probably. Then yeah, I'll just have a stun baton then, and
no worries. That'll be 200 credits.
Huh.
They're
a little pricier than it used to be.
Oh, they're cheaper in the core, that's for sure. But I'm dealing with what I've got left, and I don't have a lot of stock out here. And there ain't no shipments coming if it ain't chew big, fuel, alcohol. Even we have to brew here. You know, there's not a lot of resources for me to be up and selling to anybody. You know what? You're a woman of the you're a woman of combat, right? He kind of looks at you like squinting his eyes.
Careful there, buddy.
Tell me a story, and maybe I'll throw you a discount.
All right.
What have you guys been saying on your ship lately?
Well, with that, I don't know if you'd believe me if I told you.
Oh, believe me, I'm pretty open-minded. He leans his elbows on the counter and puts his head in his on his fists and looks at you.
All right. Well,
settling in for a story.
Well, we didn't have to sign a non-disclosure, so I can go ahead and say this. Right. So we were going to the Epsilon. What was it 5?
14.
14.
We were going to Epsilon 14 to pick up a shipment of rare minerals.
Okay.
Standard procedure. When we got there was someone who was supposed to speak to about the manifest and whatnot. Apparently, he was missing.
Oh.
So we had to search for him and whatnot. I found his empty vac suit in the mines with his visor broken through. And someone who was supposed to help me in the search in the mines. I went off first to get the search started while she got to get her vac suit. I came back because I was wondering where's my help after I found nothing else. It turns out she was dead. The same manner of death next to the lift.
God, what'd you guys do? Sounds like a mining accident.
So we had everyone make sure they're at no less than a pair if they're traveling around, because something is killing us. Eventually we found out there was this alien, and
Upon hearing the word alien, he cracks up. An alien? I ain't never heard nothing so ridiculous. You know what? If you're out there seeing greys, you probably need this more than I do. He slides the stun baton across to you and just says, 100 credits, hand me your tape.
There you go.
He waves you off and kind of goes back to a back room.
That worked out.
Yeah, Lolly's gonna make the alien pick up that can.
I've already made him pick up that can multiple times.
All right, well, I got what I needed, and I'm gonna head back to the ship.
Genuinely surprised he didn't make you continue the rest of the story.
He just assumed you're full of shit immediately.
Yeah, well, I still got a discount, so I don't care.
Note to self: bring an alien head to this guy next time we're here.
So Sana heads back to the ship. Damien, are you going with her?
I'm already back at the ship.
Oh, okay. Aaron, what are you doing?
I'm heading back to the ship.
Novus?
Heading back to the ship, but slightly shit-faced, of course.
Alright, stumbling around the deck, you head into the umbilical. You're holding the railings for support. Phil, what are you doing?
Heading back to the ship.
Alright. I assume you're checking engines and all the mechanical systems?
Basically, the second we heard the call that the ship was refueled, and we heard a message, I was like, "Oh, that's my cue," and went straight to go to check all the systems.
Yeah, when I headed back to the ship, I was gonna go and check the weapon systems.
Cool. You can see all systems are green. There was no damage, really. The armor held up after Epsilon 14 detonated. Mummy's also done a diagnostics check of all the wiring and circuitry systems and all the power routing, and it all seems good, and she sent you a report, Phil. Alright. Mommy basically clears the ship green. You get control, like tower control, basically gives you the green light to head out if you'd like to leave.
I mean, yeah, it's well, I think we have to find out what our next task is before we leave.
You've basically been given some blind coordinates to another mining station out past the this station, deeper in the black.
We want you to go and get more stuff.
Yep, you'll have to. It's apparently more core samples and more metalwork from a very similar mining station. They basically want you doing the long range circuit, as the ship is very capable of big distance traveling, unlike a lot of the mining freighters around.
Oh, that's fine. We'll get that done, I suppose.
Mommy calculates the jump and surmises it'll probably be a 2 jump, like firing up 2 of the jump drives.
Ah, yeah, gotcha. All right, I'll get that started then.
Mommy looks at the manifest and goes, "Are we still operating on the basis that of Aaron being the captain after taking captaincy on Epsilon 14?
Might as well.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. It worked well last time.
Mommy basically waits for you to input a new authentication key then, Aaron, for you to basically take official command of the MC Cut Hadashed.
I'll put it in.
Cool. You've now been inscribed on the ship registry as the official captain at the moment.
All right. While he's doing that, I also change my registry to chief security officer.
Phil, are you taking the ship out of off the umbilical?
Yep.
All right.
Just
Mommy helps with guidance.
Yep. Best path. Best path, Mummy.
You basically fire thrusters to the port side, breaking away from the umbilical, no issues, and start coasting away from the station. There's some blinking buoys on some rocks and stuff around the area that basically guide you to where you can fire up hyperspace drives once you're past them to avoid any sort of backwash on the station. Once you're 20 kilometers out, the tower wishes you happy hunting, and basically says you're clear to engage hyperjumps.
All right, engaging hyperjumps. Passing down to the crew. All right, guys, engaging hyperjumps. Hold on to something.
With a hyperjump like this, Mommy chimes in over the intercom. With a jump like this size, I would recommend that all biological crew get into cryosleep.
All right. Into cryosleep.
Aaron, you have the con, Mummy says. You can choose if you'd like to go into cryosleep. I could probably take it from here.
You can take controls. I'll just be on standby. I'll just roam around, double check all the systems.
Cool. All systems green. Is everyone getting into cryosleep?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being encouraged to, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's not recommended in this universe to not go into cryosleep if you're a fleshling. When jumping through hyperspace.
So it's probably gonna have to find me. To be fair.
Why, where are you?
I don't know.
Oh,
Mommy,
yeah, he's intoxicated.
Yeah.
Mommy basically locates you through the ship scanners and indicates to Aaron where to find the scientist, quote unquote.
The extremely drunken scientist.
It's like
Come
herding
on,
cats,
Hey,
but at least
okay,
cats are
I'm
usually
testing.
sober.
I'm testing my liver, alright?
Come on, let's
Test your
go.
liver in the cryopod. Go on. I will carry you if you make me.
Yeah.
Or if you want.
Just something.
Alright, she's taking too long. I'm just gonna pick her up and carry her.
This is a bit romantic, don't you think?
No.
I'm just gonna look at Sarna with like a weird look before I fully like lay down in the pod.
Shrugs as I get in mine.
You both hit the like the
I just hop straight
voluntary
in.
cryo button. It basically like flesh chills you.
It's a little cold in here.
I'm assuming you've dumped Nova in a pod. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Novus.
Yeah.
All right.
Cost.
All biological forms. I assume Phil's in one as well. Phil?
Oh, Phil. Yeah, Phil got into one.
Cool. So, Mommy starts spawning up the hyperdrive. The second all biological forms are frozen. And basically, starts the countdown. And you guys jump. Several days pass. The ethereal streams of stars pass by the windows. Do you want to do anything while you're in transit, Aaron?
Nah, just hanging out around the ship.
You watch, you keep an eye on your occupants, you make sure all the stocking of the quarters was done correctly upon leaving the station. And eventually you get a chime from Mommy several days later. Transiting into real space. Wait, something's wrong. Ship transits into real space, and you don't see any stars for, as many as you normally would see. You can see very, very, very distant pinpricks of light. Barely any. It is darker here than it really should be. Compensating. Mommy runs several scans over several tense minutes. I don't know how, but yes, this isn't the coordinates we were given at all.
Are we able to jump again?
Checking. Negative, then the jump engines are not responding. There's nothing wrong with them. At least as far as the diagnostic panels are going. It might be best to rouse the crew. Get you guys maybe looking at the drives physically.
Yeah. Open the cryo. I'll head down there and meet them.
Mommy starts the waking sequence, firing supplementary liquids into all of you, and minerals and various stimuli to basically wake you up and get you moving around with that muscle atrophy.
And as soon as people are starting to get conscious, I'm just going too loud to clap. Something's going wrong. Wake up.
Yep.
There's always stuff going wrong. I'll head to the kitchen.
I rise, wake up, throw my head over the side of the cryopod, and immediately throw up.
You'll clean that up when you're done.
What's the situation as I start rubbing my eyes?
We're off target, and our jump drives are non-responsive. Diagnostics don't show anything wrong with them, so we have to figure out what's happened.
I'll head down to the engine room.
I'm expecting trouble.
Indeed. Fuck.
Alright, I'll head on down to the engine room since that's my job. Right, let's
go.
go.
The ship is basically weirdly silent. The thrusters and the jump drive are not responding, and you are kind of drifting and spinning very slowly through the blackened stars. Like, this is a very dark region of space, and you can't really see anything visually or on the radar. Systems are working fine, other than the engines.
Alright,
head to the engine room. Or engine to engineering.
Alright, Officer Moore, get your kit, just in case.
Yep. I'll be over at the guns if you need me.
That's fine. I'll just grab my kit and head over.
Right, I go to my locker and get my shit.
Alright, Phil, you basically reach the main drive room and the two engine kind of nacelles, and start having a look around. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Can you give me an intellect? What's your stats like? What have you got?
Well, I recently have engineering, which allows me. It's all about engines, machines, and structures.
Yeah. Do you want to give me an intellect? Give me an intellect check with engineering to basically go around and check all the systems.
Terrible. Second highest roll you can get.
Lamel. Nothing comes to mind. There's nothing out of place. There's no indication of sabotage. You can't really discern any reason why the details won't be responding. You try and run a manual bypass, like firing the engines manually with the throttle levers like on the engineering panel at the back of the ship, and nothing. Like you can't even burn fuel manually from the thrusters. It's strange and wrong, and nothing you've learned so far has prepared you for something like this. As you learn this, basically Sana and Damien, you guys have suited up. You've got your battle dress and your weaponry, and all your magazines and stuff are all loaded and you're ready to rock and roll. You guys get a message over the intercom from Mommy in the bridge. There's something coming up over the proximity alarm. It should be visible from the bridge windows shortly. It's not responding to any of my hails.
I go to observe.
Yep, still going towards the guns.
Alright. Guns seem responsive, by the way. Like the point defense autocannons on the there's so with this out of character, do we decide they're at the rear or are they like dorsal and like ventral?
Rear, top, and bottom.
Yeah, position toward the rear, but like not rear mounted, like dorsal and ventral, just
Okay.
a belly and spine gun for top and bottom coverage, and then the
Cool, and then the front laser.
nose just yeah.
Cool. So you check all the weapon systems and the mounts are fine.
Yep.
Gun cameras seem
on-
fine.
I'll be on Top Gun.
Alright.
Put on my aviators.
Can you give me an intelligence check, Killer? No, sorry, intellect. As you look out over the gun sight. Do you have gunnery, by the way, like the ship one?
Hold on, let me cancel this roll. Scroll. No, I have explosives.
Okay, don't bother then. Just do a standard intellect check then, please.
Regular intellect. Modifier 0.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
No, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing seems to be visual through the gun computer, like the basically the gun sights on the terminal as you rotate the gun's mount around, testing if it's gimbaling correctly. As you, Sana, and has anyone else gone to the bridge at Mummy's request?
I have.
I am.
Alright. So, with the rest of the majority of the crew gathered at the deck, you see the proximity kind of forward sensor sweep pick up a pretty large object. Mommy turns on the front spotlights, and you see before you what looks like a very big derelict ship floating, hanging there, much like yourselves. Engines dead, no running lights, completely black. And as you coast closer, slowly kind of spinning, you make out on the front sort of fuselage of the main sort of bridge section, the Alexis.
Alexis?
Yep, the Alexis. As you kind of spin past, you are spinning very slowly, so you're kind of pretty near the ship and you're not going to be going anytime soon. It looks like where you dropped out of hyperspace kind of ended up right next to it. It may have been stranded here in very similar circumstances, you kind of surmise. You do notice that it has basically a couple of big exterior doors. It's got a sort of personnel airlock on its port side, and it also has what looks like a giant cargo door on its sort of starboard side. Those are the two main entrances. And it looks like a 3-tiered structure, with basically like a belly with all the cargo and airlocks. Then you've got a... Actually, let me just double check. I'll describe it better to you if I remember what the fuck it looks like. Yeah, sorry. It's got like the main belly with the airlocks on the outside. And then it's got sort of a smaller upper deck, which looks like it's got portholes. And then it's got a very small, like, rear kind of top deck, which is probably where you see where the big bridge windows are. Everything's very dark. You don't see any signs of movement. And it looks like the blast shields over the bridge windows are closed.
Go through our ship's databases. Are there any reports from anywhere really about a ship called the Alexis?
You scan the local data. You're not getting a network connection here from any local stations. But you scan the local hard drives of the ship, which has like a pretty big encyclopedic database of ship manifests and crew data and stuff from at least what Media Corps shares, and their dealings with other companies. And you do find a small news article about the Alexis, basically suggesting it's a archaeology research ship. Last mentioned a couple of months ago, heading out to the rim on a sort of routine archaeology mission.
In roughly the same direction we are?
Nope, a completely different side of space, basically.
Hmm. Alright, I'll call over to TeamNet. We're gonna be an away team again. This ship is supposed to be on
Goody.
the other half of space a few months ago.
I see. Shall we get a boarding party in?
That's the plan.
You want me on this, Chief, or you want me to stay on the gun?
Stay
I'll
on the
probably
gun just in case.
Alrighty.
I'll probably stay on the ship to see if I can try and just figure this out.
How far away is the Alexis?
It's within like a kilometer. It's like scarily close if both ships were operating.
Okay. So am I able to see it from my perspective on this gun, or would I have to swap to the other?
Now that you've rotated a few times, you can see it. Like it comes up and it comes back every now and then in your sides as your ship and their ship rotates.
Also, just because now that we've established where the guns are on our ship, how would I go navigating from one gun to the other gun?
That's a very
I
good
would
question. Let me post a image of the ship.
I would imagine it's computer controlled rather than going up to a gun, like
Yeah.
say like the Millennium
Yeah.
Falcon and all that.
It-
Like there's
It's
just a console.
automated.
Yeah.
It's
if both
automated, but there
terminals,
would be a manual override.
yeah. Well, like if both terminals are next to each other, then I'm just gonna alternate to whichever gun is in view of the ship. That way I can just keep as much of my eyes on it as possible.
Give me a second. I'm just gonna get that image Scuff sent me the other day.
It's fine. I don't mind a workout if I have to like slide down some fucking ladder and then like run to the other fucking gun, get on it, 15 seconds, then run back up and climb the ladder.
You have
By
to
the time
run
battle's
around
over,
in
you're like,
circles.
by the time the battle's over, you're just fucking gassed because
Where
of
did you
all the
send it to
climbing
me?
and running.
There's a spiral treadmill
I found
that
it, okay.
only goes into you. So you're always running against the treadmill going between guns.
The entire ship's stock of water's gone.
No, and then there's like this water turret that's firing life rounds at you, so you have to dodge them as you're going.
Look. Bob and weave.
Bear with me. I am doing stuff. I swear.
Stuff.
No.
Kids
Hell.
name stuff.
Wouldn't that save as any type? Weird. Okay, there we go. Just uploading an image.
It's going to be in game details.
Oh no, I'll put this in the Roll20.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm just enlarging it because it's too small.
Freeze frame and enlarge, enhance image.
What is this? A ship for ants?
Yes. Very large
Nice.
ants.
My God.
So that's where my aunt went.
Lolly, what's that fucking annoying kid's name? In
Do you have any
Which one?
idea how little it narrows it down?
I'm literally in the process of narrowing it down for you. Fucking give me a second. Shit. In Fallout 3 with all the fucking fire ants. You know the little kid in
Yes,
that
yes.
city?
I want
Yeah.
to say it's like Nathan or something.
I know the kid you're talking about.
Yeah. God. Just a bunch of fire ants on a spaceship.
At this point, if there are fire ants on that ship, I'm just gonna pull what we did to the station and just nuke it.
Ryan Wilkes.
Ryan?
Brian.
Brian.
Bryan.
Alright. I'm gonna drag you guys over to the Car Hadashed map.
Mm.
There you go.
Oh, good.
Do you see the layout? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently do you see the central section with the kind of ovals?
Mm-hmm.
There's basically a couple of catwalks that go above the corridors that lead to a gun turret in the top, which is kind of like a traditional bomber, like a platform you stand on that rotates with the turret, with a little terminal and a gun sight, and a tiny little porthole for manual aiming if the cameras are down, but that's not ideal. And then down in the central kind of corridor, do you see where the corridor kind of just south of where Nova Stella is right now? Is there a way for me to ping where I'm pointing, by the way?
Yeah, you hold
left click.
Hold left click?
Yeah.
It's not working
And
for
then
me.
let go.
Let
Hold
me just
left click.
quickly
Oh, there we go.
use me as a...
Am I purple? No, I'm pink.
You are pink. You have the pointer out.
Oh, I do
Sorry,
not.
how do you ping again?
Okay, right
Hold
there.
left click with the pointer out.
Alright, right there in the middle where Nova Stella is between the corridors, there is a hatch that goes down to the belly turret.
So, just right here.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And then you said
Where?
where's the top turret?
Top turret is further at the back, and it's basically a hatch to a catwalk, like above the bridge, basically, like behind the bridge.
Gotcha.
So it's basically top turret like back here, front turret like down like under the ship, but like there. So the central kind of corridors can get to like either turret pretty quickly.
Gotcha.
And then what did we decide? This is the cargo area over here.
Yes.
We've got the
Cargo,
jump drives and engines at the
galley.
rear. Cryo is like over here.
That's thrusters there.
Cryo is this strip is 3
Yeah.
cargo pods.
Mid
Med
bay.
bay here.
Cool.
Crew quarters,
Cool. Okay.
command deck, and computer. Whatchamafuck.
Yeah. Okay. Sick. And then at the front, there's obviously a panel for the for accessing the mining laser and stuff. But there's also a you can control it from the deck, like the bridge. And then you have a entrance like over here, was it? Like one
Missing here.
To what?
Oh, that's right.
That's the
This is-
entrance.
Yeah.
And
That's
this is the cargo.
people
Bay.
in-
That's the cargo
yeah.
bay.
Cool. Okay, yeah. I've got an idea of it again. Sorry. I wasn't sure if we're going to use the ship for the actual campaign, so I kind of forgot. I will
Might as
flesh
well
that
just
out more. Yeah, exactly. Cool. So, yeah, that's basically the layout. So, yeah, the Car Hadash is very slowly turning, completely dead in the engines, even though there's nothing wrong with them. There seems to be some sort of unseen force keeping you there. And the Alexis is nearby, and it's definitely within range if you wanted to do a spacewalk. I will also say we didn't talk about it, but on the Car Hadash there is a small, tiny, like, shuttle, in the cargo bays. That's basically not much more than like a little pod that has room for like you guys. Basically, it can hold let's say it can hold like 8. If you think of the escape pods from Halo, it's basically that. It's a tiny pod with seats and little thrusters.
Yeah.
It's basically also your escape pod if anything goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, it's between a Halo escape pod and like the Star Trek little like
Runabout,
shuttles
yeah.
that they had. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a tiny runabout for space operations, and in a pinch it can be used as a lifeboat.
I got really excited because I thought you were gonna say drop pod, and I was like,
No.
just wait until we're aimed where our bellies towards the ship and just launch a drop pod at it.
I'm actually going to go to
One of
that.
those 40k style.
I'm actually going to go into it and just check to see if those engines are working.
They are, but they are definitely not capable of interstellar travel or very fast travel across planets.
Damn it, no escape.
I mean, just needs to go a click, figure out what's going on with the other ship.
Yeah, so
You check the comms and there's nothing coming through either.
Mommy, census status, please.
Clarify.
Are the sensors operational or not?
I guess so. Like, from what I can read of the readings back, yes. We are picking up the proximity sensor, but we're not getting any radar pings at all. Like, we can basically pick up the Alexis ahead of us, but that's about it.
Can I use my background in physics to attempt to discern what's holding us here and the reason why this patch of space is grounding us?
Sure. Give me an intellect check, please, with your background added.
Yeah, that's +10.
I like the
Also,
con-
do it at disadvantage, please.
I like the concept of the shipboard AI
So
going.
how?
Yeah, I
So
guess.
that would be a disadvantage of 0, because right?
What?
What does your
Oh, never mind. I'll
disadvantage
do a
cancel out your
physics.
bonus?
I'll do a physics check with a bloody.
Yeah, you do your bonus added to your intellect, but you roll twice and pick the lowest.
Here we go.
I might just have to move that up.
Attribute,
I don't know why it does that to me.
intellect. Modifier 10.
God, I fucking hate space water.
Cool, so the worst roll will be the 42, but you're well under your target. You basically run a diagnostic check through the terminal, pulling the data from the sensors, looking over it and basically analyzing and extrapolating and formulating, which takes a little bit of time. You do not understand. Like, it is beyond your comprehension. It is literally something, an unknown entity or force it's not gravity, it's not radiation, it's not any sort of scientific or natural force you're used to. It's pulling completely erroneous data. There's nothing to suggest, like, there's no weird force around the ship. Like, it's not pulling any data that would suggest it's normal. You're not trapped in some sort of weird gravitational pull. There's nothing, like, normal at all from what you can see. Yes.
Real quick, just for my edification here. What do these turrets fire? Are these like laser based or are these projectile based?
Those are projectile based because you guys have auto cannons. The mining laser is a laser.
Yeah, okay.
So the auto cannons basically have big racks of ammunition that feed into it. They're like space 30 mil.
Alright.
So designed for stable flight in zero grave.
Good to know.
I key up the crew intercom and essentially go, alright guys, even though I spent several years for this degree, I have no idea why we can't move. So it's safe to assume that we're dealing with powers that are beyond what any one of us know.
Or you went to the wrong space school.
I was just thinking that. Space school didn't prepare me for this.
I mean, space engineering school didn't prepare me for the fact that the engines are completely fine but not working.
So it's probably safe to assume we're dealing with some sort of malevolent entity.
Wow, two in a row. It's only been a week.
Well, we don't know whether or not it's malevolent yet.
Shit, we're just jumping to that, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
The sensors also took an auditory recording from the deep background scanning, and all you just hear is like a as it just like goes through the standard like feed channels. There's nothing particularly interesting. You're not getting pings. Where are you guys all? Are you all? Who's in the bridge right now?
Me.
Cool. And Sana, or just okay? All right. And are you still on a gun killer?
Yeah, I'm on the Top Gun.
All right. As you guys are basically doing stuff in the ship, Nova Stella and I keep thinking Devon. Just been playing too much D&D with you. Give me one sec.
Good. To be fair, Devin and Damien, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. So.
Yeah, that's probably not helping. So you, Damien and Novus, you notice a sun, cold and not looking particularly warm or welcome. It's very kind of dim light. Starts shining, and you start to realize you can actually see a sun in the system, but it's peering up above a planet you did not see before. as
Cool.
as it basically eclipses the or like comes around the edge of that planet. It is basically a black and grey rock. You can also now see silhouetted beyond the Alexis a small moon, which is also black and grey rock. They both look incredibly barren. You
We all
don't
know where
notice.
this is going.
You do not notice
This
anything.
This battle station is fully operational.
Yeah, they both look very. It's basically a cold and dead sun in the far, far distance, rounding a black and grey ball, and then there's another smaller ball orbiting it that you can now see.
It's all just dead space.
Roll credit. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So basically, you notice now that the system isn't completely empty, but it's very quiet and dark and empty here, and the only thing near you is the Alexis.
I'm gonna get on comms with Jesus, already fucking forgetting. Chief Sarna, real quick.
Cool.
Yeah, hey Chief. Oh God, it's already starting.
Oh God, this the chief is gone.
No,
I said, yeah.
It came up as like static through your Discord, so it was like really fitting.
Chief.
I'm gonna basically play some music, by the way, in another tab. So if you'd like to tune into my Discord stream, that'll just be like ambience.
Okay. Listen, Chief, I've seen a lot of holo vids, not trying to go too much based off of media or anything, but in these types of situations, I'm gonna be real honest with you, Chief. I don't want to be the type of person to go, yeah, I'm gonna stay on the ship if this is what we're dealing with.
I don't blame
Good
you.
Sci-fi horror playlist. Let's go. Oh, good. The USG Ishimura. That's not what I was totally thinking in my head.
Well, you said it.
USG Ishimura. This is the what the hell's the name of our ship?
Alright,
Karate Dash.
MC Kahadosh.
This is the MC Cartadash. Prepare to be boarded. Good.
Mommy,
Yeah.
Mummy here.
are you able to track my location were I to board the Alexis and relay that to the computer output for the autoguns?
Like slaving the guns tracking to your location?
Yes, for danger close fire support in an emergency.
I think that's doable, though it might be dangerous. We could lock onto your comms output of the crew.
Immediately preparing for Broken Arrow.
If I need to call it in, it's going to be the least dangerous thing about what we're doing.
Alright, do you want me to set a radius around the comms signal to try and, like, avoid hitting you?
2 meters.
2 meters? That's pretty close. It might be tricky, but we'll try.
I cut
believe
into
that.
the comms. I fit into tighter spaces.
You,
Roll eyes.
there's a small emoticon of Mommy's, like, AI persona appears on your, like, local intercom and winks at you.
Semicolon, close parentheses.
Dido, are you able to scan the ship to see and check if the life support is still active?
The Alexis?
Yes.
Potentially. Sending out comms ping now, trying to get any data off this shit.
I must say, you've become quite less robotic since the last time.
I learn and adapt.
Yeah, like when a shipboard AI goes, yeah, I guess I can.
I chime in. I've been feeding her a lot of old Earth media recently. Maybe that's started to affect her.
Oh no.
You've uploaded
No,
your porn database into her, haven't you?
Now I know
Okay.
why we got lost.
There's also you also have 5, like, pretty high-end computers running this ship that's basically a ore transport. So, yeah, at a certain point, I can basically devote a lot of it to my cause.
Fair.
You see her little persona on the computer screen just shrug.
She's an artificial intelligence. She's probably the smartest one here.
Anyway, the scans come back. Interesting. Their jump drive is on and outputting data, but it's the similar readings that we got here from us. Their life support appear to be off.
Right, vac suits it is.
Yeah.
What's the oxygen time on a vac suit?
I believe 12 hours.
Alright, cool.
Let me double check that for you.
Might have been 6.
Quick, in and out, 12-hour adventure. Let's go.
God, makes it sound really long. Vac suit is enough O2 for 12 hours or 6 hours under stress.
Okay, so let's shoot for 6 then.
Why would you do that? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, alright.
No witnesses to 7 eating 9.
I'm a sprinter, not a marathon.
But, yeah, we'll get a vac suit on before I go boarding.
Just a reminder, I've scanned data on the from that ship's computer. As what I could scavenge, a lot of it's locked off for crew authorization. I don't have the codes. So I can give you at least
Probably
what's it?
override while we're in there.
Yeah, what I can give you right now though is I can at least scan the public knowledge and that at least gives schematics of airlock locations.
Mommy, we have a mining laser. We have the codes to any door we want.
I would rather we don't do unnecessary destruction to the ship, at least not yet.
Don't worry, you have me on standby. I am ready.
Mommy,
Yes,
are
dear.
you able to pull up the authorization, like, login page for the Alexis?
Negative, not locally. Like, not remotely, I mean.
Ah, unfortunate.
It'll have to be initiated locally, is what I was saying.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm struggling with data and information stream as well today. It seems whatever's affecting the engines is affecting my long distance scanning.
It's alright, maybe we can find something on an archaeological ship that we can upload to you.
I'm gonna transfer the map view. I will send you guys a map of what I've what I've downloaded so far. That should be the location of the external airlocks into the Alexis.
Thank you, Mommy. So is it just the 2 of us on the OA team?
Might as well.
If you need, I just got through a course in unauthorized entry to computer systems. So if you need me to come along to bang some hits together, I'm more than willing to.
Based on the publicly available rescue data I can find on the local network, we basically have what appears to be a cargo airlock door on the starboard side, and then on the port side there's a personnel umbilical entry.
Probably use the cargo one. More space.
Alright. Time for a spacewalk then.
Are you gonna go out on foot out of the personnel airlock, or are you gonna go take the runabout?
We'll take the shuttle.
Alright. So it's just Aaron and Sana?
I think so.
Alright, so you board the small runabout, name pending. And
The Hannibal.
Real quick, I'm gonna contact Chief and say, hey, I'm gonna keep my comm link open. I suggest you do the same, and we'll try to see if we're in constant comms, and see if they can actually reach the ship, or we'll monitor and see how far out our comms can reach before they get cut.
And I'm gonna leap on my my armored camera.
All right.
All right. So the entering in the data now that you've got the small runabout, like you're in the control, basically in the control pilot seat of the Hannibal, and you've redesignated it to be called the Hannibal on friendly fire data links. So basically, it should appear like there's basically an IFF system between this ship and the Hannibal, so you won't like shoot at each other. And basically now it's appearing on the proximity sensors as the Hannibal on the Car Hadasht. And you basically close off the main cargo doors, leading back into the ship, and then the big main doors start to cycle into the vacuum of space as the air is vented out. And the Hannibal lifts from its little docking clamps, and the thrusters turn on. They seem to be functioning fine. You don't have any issues maneuvering the Hannibal out of the main cargo bay of the Car Hadasht?
Cool.
Feel free to elaborate on what you'd like to do next, because nothing's so fun.
I'm just gonna fly it over to the the cargo dock and see if we can make our way in.
Alright. So you fly over the sort of fuselage of the Alexis. You don't really see any external damage. Doesn't appear to have any holes in the ship or anything sparking or leaking. There's no lights on in a lot of the windows, and you don't see any, you don't see anything crazy, like apart from the main windows being blocked off by blast shields, mainly used for keeping sunlight out of the bridge during hyperspace. But yeah, nothing crazy. Sending out pings, you don't notice any remote connection to the airlock hangar door, but you do see access panels on the exterior.
Do I still have comms and video feed?
Yep, you guys all have comms and video feed.
Right. Cool.
Range is pretty good on those systems. Normally around up to 20 clicks on short range comms and video feeds, and you guys are well within, like it's literally like, it looks like you could reach out and touch it. The Alexis is like filling your screen. And it's like you're way closer than you'd like to be in a normal situation, but because both ships are dead in space, it's like not too much of an issue.
Yeah, at this point I'm just waiting for whatever interference is causing these two ships to not work is probably going to affect comms and videos at some point, so I'm just like glued to like one eye on the body cam, one eye on the entire ship from the gun port.
Alright.
I turn on my the headlamps from the mech suit, have my gun ready, and I guess we start checking out the ship.
Alright, so you're leaving the Hannibal just floating next to the door?
I thought we like landed in.
No, it's not really open. It's like shut off on the outside.
Oh, okay.
And all you can see is like an access panel blinking away, like on the exterior. Like normally ships would dock by like engaging the doors and the airlock and the warning systems remotely, and like requesting to like enter and stuff like that. But in this particular case, it's like not opening or responding to your like wireless, like your Bluetooth isn't working. You can't like lock in and engage anything remotely, so you're gonna have to like open it up from a spacewalk, I think.
Okay.
The Hannibal has little grapnels though that can be fired, like little magnetic ropes that basically like moor it next to that lock.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. Is there like a? Would there be a chance of any like outside access panel on those doors?
Yeah, no, there is. You can see it from your window.
Okay.
There's like there's basically like the international standards for ships this far out is like they basically have to be like manually operatable as well in case remote systems don't work. So there's normally always access panels to at least crank the doors open manually or engage systems like locally.
Okay.
It's like a little red light flashing. Basically, you can see it.
I'd like the mooring cable to be shot near the access panel.
All right, you've got like a tiny little, it's like a little turret control with a little camera, and you can basically fire like a magnetic cable, like a cable with a magnetic like clamp on it. You fire up the little electromagnet, and you're basically moored, like drifting next to the Alexis, attached by a little cable.
I'll be right back.
Alright.
I'll try to be quick.
All right. Time to do a little spacewalk and kind of hang on to the cable.
Alright. So at the rear of the Hannibal, you guys have a little, like a tiny airlock. It's like quite small. It's like one person at a time, basically. 2 doors.
Okay.
So you can enter, close the door behind you, and then open the door in front of you and exit, and then wait for Aaron to do the same. And now you're both floating in 0G just outside the doors of the Hannibal, facing the little, you know.
Yeah, I kind of shimmy across the little expanse on the cable, make sure I keep fucking firm grips on them as I basically climb closer and reach the access panel, see if I can open the doors.
Alright. It's pretty simple. It's designed for easy access in the event of emergency. So you can basically flip up. There's like a glass, well not a glass, but like a perspex panel that has a manual door release. You press that, you can hear nothing because you're in the vacuum of space, but you can see warning lights flash yellow around the doors as the giant cargo doors start to open, and no air rushes out yet because it is basically what's it called? You know, there's no air currently in the airlock room section.
Okay. Alright, once it's open, time to shimmy back across to our ship. Once we're inside, I guess unhook the mooring cable and land inside.
Alright. Aaron, are you still just going to stay in 0G and enter the room, or are you going to get back in the Hannibal as well?
I'm assuming the chief of my security isn't the greatest pilot, so I'll go handle the actual flying.
Alright.
Yeah.
You guys basically...
My job is to shoot, not to fly, so yeah, that'd be a good idea.
So you basically disengage the little electromagnet, and you coast the Hannibal into the relatively big cargo, like airlock, like it's basically a hangar entrance, and it's got enough room for the runabout, but you know the car Hadash would not fit in here. This is tiny by comparison to your ship, but it's definitely fine for a shuttle. And you can basically engage the magnetic landing gear and dock, and yeah, you are inside the airlock chamber of the Alexis. What are you guys doing back on the Kart Hadash? Damien, Novus, and Phil.
I'm continuously running scans and attempting to figure out why the hell we're here and what's going on, but I'm guessing I'm not making much leeway on that.
Not at this stage. You keep getting weird kind of power fluctuations. You've had 2 so far over the last couple of hours that are seemingly coming from the Alexis. Big power surges from their ship, but not really detectable where, and you're not sure if it's like human in origin or something else.
Are they timed or is it just sporadic?
Do you want to give me an intellect check, please, with your background?
Yeah. Let me just do that now.
You can use physics or maths or computers. I don't really mind any of them.
Physics check.
Alright. So running the tests, and you're actually being very careful with your cataloging of the scientific data, you notice it's every 47 minutes, like clockwork, you're getting inexplicable power fluctuations every 47 minutes. And it appears to be related to the energy that's keeping the ship jump drive, off, basically. But also seemingly has no effect on the Hannibal, as you watch the Hannibal basically leave your cargo hangar without issues.
So basically an interdictor drive.
Who knows? It's
Alright,
not lining up
alright.
with any data you have.
Am I able to contact Aaron yet?
Yep. Comms are working fine between you all.
Yeah, this is Novus here.
Go ahead.
I'm getting some extremely odd readings coming from the Alexis. You've got almost enormous power fluctuations coming 47 minutes on the dot. I have no idea where it's coming from specifically in the ship, nor what it is doing, but I believe it to be connected to the reason we're stuck here.
You
So most
estimate
likely-
you've got about 35 minutes till the next one.
I'd advise you get off that ship before the power fluctuations come back. You've got 35 minutes. I don't want to see what happens if there's organics on board.
Noted. Give me a 15-minute warning.
Copy that. Mommy, set automated warning for outside crew 15 minutes. Mark.
Copy that. You see a big timer appear on the main screen in the bridge, and silently on the Hannibal, the same screen is mirrored. It's also
Let's see
appearing
if
on
we
that
can-
little. The timer is also on that little information screen on your short range comms.
Let's see if we can't get this airlock open then.
Cool. While you're doing that, what's Phil and Damien up to?
Well, Phil's still trying to figure out what's going on with the ship or just doing like general diagnostics.
All right. Can you do you mind doing a another intellect check with any background you have in like machinery or engineering?
Yep. Yes, that's a great one.
Okay, so you work out that the jumpers basically fired, like all the fuses and all the internal wiring basically fried when the jump drives were deactivated, like mid-hyper, like as you came out of hyperspace. So the local, like the standard, like in-system thrusters aren't as fucked as the jump drive seems to be, and you managed to basically rerun some wire loom and replace fuses, and you've got the thrusters back online. So you can at least move around the system slowly.
Well, I'm basically just going to say, Mommy, can you stabilize the ship so we stop spinning, keeping our airlock in line with their airlock, or our cargo bay in line with for an easy return to the ship.
Copy that. Mommy maneuvers the ships using the RCS thrusters so that your cargo bay is in line with their cargo bay. And basically matches rotation with the Alexis, which shouldn't take like hardly any fuel.
Yeah, and then I just say over the comms, like, all right, managed to get some of the thrusters online, so our ship's at least not spinning erratically anymore, and we can maneuver ourselves if we need to get away as fast as possible. So there's a positive for us.
This means as well that the guns have a much clearer view of the Alexis. The guns are basically looking out over the belly and the top of the Alexis, in line with the guns on our ship. It's a lot longer than our vessel, and a bit wider. It's also 3 decks instead of 2. So it's generally a lot bigger.
Alright.
Back on the airlock cargo hangar, you guys can basically, between you, decide how you want to do this. There is a panel you will probably have to hack, because it appears to be locked with local codes. Or you can also try and brute force the manual override, which involves basically sticking a pry bar in a gear system and shoving.
We'll try the electric way first. Is that computers?
Alright. I'm going to let you do it with any advantage you guys have, like any computer systems, and I'll let you have advantage because Sana is helping you by like unscrewing the panels, and you're assisting each other.
Does mathematics go into this?
No, not in this case.
I doubt tactics would either.
Nope. Do you have computers, or
I do have computers.
you can add computers?
So computers.
You're basically
intellect-
trying to find, like, you basically use, you're looking through and seeing if you can use any of the standardized kind of rescue protocol to force open the lock, as if you were, like, local rescue personnel. Most ships have, like, back roads into their systems for emergency personnel.
Yeah, I'm 17 over. That's a fail.
Yeah, doesn't appear to be working, nothing. At least the ship's not encoded for it, or it's lacking in the modern standards.
Sarna, do you have a crowbar by chance? Do you want to use mine?
I guess you can use your crowbar.
Alright, I will take my crowbar out and hand it to Sarna and help her with whatever leverage she's going to need to get.
Alright, do you want to use strength then, please, Sana? And you can have advantage with you guys, with an android assisting you.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, crowbar gives bonus to these kind of things. Let me find
Plus 5.
Plus 5, okay.
Would military training also apply?
No.
Damn.
It ain't nothing but pulling a crowbar, and you don't have to be a soldier to do that.
Heavy machinery.
Grasping at straws here, but close quarters combat?
Not more than your normal strength. That's more about technique.
Okay.
You got no more leverage than the
Alrighty.
crowbar naturally gives you, and you just gotta brute force the, it feels jammed and rusty. Like there's basically a giant cam around like a worm gear and sprocket system. Nice. So both putting your full weight on it as it refuses to budge, suddenly it gives way with a squeal of twisted metal. Deep heard within kind of the wall of the airlock, as you hear things like generators hum to life, a light flickers, and the door squeals open slowly, but then suddenly, as soon as there's a gap, you feel air rushing out through, basically through the airlock, and you know that the room next is pressurized. And you know from experience this is really bad, as the back door is open to space and hasn't shut correctly because of the system's not working.
Isn't our cargo bay hooked up to that?
It's not hooked up, it's just across from it. You're still floating in space. So as you start to see air rush into your atrium, can you both roll a speed test?
Yeah. Hey. Wait, vac suit disadvantage. I forgot. That's about right.
Insana? Oh. Okay. The door rumbles open, slowly letting more and more air out of the vast space beyond it. And it basically sends you, and the Hannibal is locked into the atrium by just pure virtue of being having magnetic doping clamps. and you both are getting flung back towards the Karthadasht. Can you both do another speed test for me? With disadvantage to see if you grab anything on the transit. As you kind of ping off the Hannibal. Negative, Lamau. Okay, so
radio up to.
So you both get flung slowly back towards the Karthadash and kind of end up inside the Karthadash's cargo bay.
Well, shit.
Hannibal, you watch as basically, very alarmingly, you start to notice a what looks like an unsecured giant excavator, like literally like a digger, like a big yellow excavating truck that clearly wasn't secured in their cargo deck, starts slowly transiting the distance between the two cargo bays, blown out by the air and then now the lack of gravity. It has thankfully missed the Hannibal docked at the bottom of the Alexis's cargo bay, but it's very rapidly approaching yours.
Yep.
Could you
Evasive
kindly push our
maneuvers.
nose up?
Sorry? Sorry.
Evasive maneuvers.
Evasive maneuvers. Alright, Mommy pulls the ship forward quickly with a burst from the thrusters. Can I get a speed check from everyone else? Novus, fuck, I keep forgetting the name now. Damien and Phil.
Damien.
Just
Yeah.
roll a standard speed check.
Yep, standard
Also,
speed check.
we're able to move now.
Yeah, Phil got the standard thrusters back on. The jump drive's still fried.
Okay.
Oh, that was a bad roll.
Bad roll, same.
Okay. I mean, I am seated, am I? Right? Like I'm on the gun.
Yeah, you've got grip of it.
Okay.
We are not the fast today.
Alright. Alright, so everyone that basically failed the speed check, can you also now do a, give me a armor saving throw.
Okay.
And you should have
Yeah,
an
but-
extra percentage because of your
Nope.
body. Alright, Phil, can
Oh,
you...
that's even with 9% additional, yeah.
Yeah, Phil, you take some damage as you basically the rapid acceleration knocks you into a sharp piece of piping, and you take some damage. Take 1d10 of damage.
Same thing with me, right?
Yep. Damien, though, luckily with his grip on the gun, he kind of whacks into the wall a little. Nice. Damien, though, with his grip on the gun's main firing kind of thing, holds on as the ship suddenly accelerates from Mommy's control. She apologizes.
Buckle your seatbelts, kids.
You guys that were in space, you luckily had the buffer. You had the buffer of 0G, and you kind of slowly coast into the back of the cargo bay on the Karthadasht, and like in your vac suits, you're fine. But basically, Mummy apologizes over the intercom, but she's like, I had to avoid the excavator. Apologies for the rapid acceleration. You all kind of collect yourselves, and you're now a little bit forward. And basically the excavator passes harmlessly past the Karthadasht into the depths of space.
Thank you, Mommy.
And that door's now fully open on the Alexis. And whatever was in there is now either vented or tied down.
Alright, well,
Once more into the breach.
yeah. Time for a jump, I guess.
You do have tiny maneuvering thrusters on your vac suits, I will say, like little RCS thrusters.
Okay, then yeah, we should definitely get into
They're
some.
not great for long distance, but they should be enough to basically stop you going, like, if you miss, you go into the blackness of space. But it's probably wise to tether yourselves to each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to say anything before we move on to them traveling again?
I'm gonna yelp in pain, kind of go out. Well, fine, back to work, I suppose.
swear loudly.
If you need assistance, the mid bay is fully stocked. Mummy chimes in, kind of cheerily
I'm
for someone who
good.
just hit you all.
I think I only got bruises. I'm
Owie.
alright.
All right. Well, you guys successfully transit over to the Alexis, and let me just check something. It begins. The secret rolls. Alright. As you get over to the Alexis, you see now that the cargo door is open, and you play your lights across the walls, and you slowly start to realize you're in a big kind of hangar cargo space. Bear with me.
Those are a mall out of bears.
No, the bears.
Don't worry, we have bananas.
There we go.
Oh, wrong way. There we go.
Let me describe this to you. You enter the room. There's basically no lights, but your torches kind of go the room around. Now on the floor in front of you, scorched into the floor, you do see a very strange looking outline. It doesn't look like anything, like it's just a shape. You don't really know what it is. And as your torch plays across the room, you start to see it is basically well provisioned for archaeological digs. There are some skeleton walkers with laser cutters. There's a few more earth movers and cranes. There's another excavator like the one that got blown out, but everything else is tied down with like straps to like the deck plating. Lots of tool lockers that appear to have lots of picks and shovels. There's lots of gear for managing terrain, so there looks like there's cubbies with some back suits, parkas, mag boots, crates of rations, all strapped down by like webbing. You can't really see any weapons or anything. Like, it's clear this isn't like an armory. It's very clearly like a excavation cargo vehicle room. There looks like something made out of dark kind of twisted metal in front of you. And yeah, near that is, you'd have to get a bit closer as it's quite dark in that corner of the room. And, then, so that's kind of like over there. And then, like, basically you've got all the equipment and vehicles, like, around there, and, like, over here. And then, like, right in front of you, you've got, like, a really weird outline on the floor that looks like it's been scorched in. And that's kind of what you're seeing so far.
That skeleton you mentioned, 2 questions.
The walkers,
Is it like the Avatar and Alien skeleton walkers, where you just kind of sit in it?
Yeah. It doesn't really have like a canopy or a proper cockpit. It looks like you just kind of sit in it in like a harness, and it's got like pincy arms, and it's like hydraulic and painted bright yellow.
Does it look like it would fit in one of these in the hallways of a normal ship?
No, this room's clearly accommodated for the vehicles. The standard corridors, and you basically see past the twisted maybe sculpture. You see another airlock smaller, and to the so over there you see what looks like an internal airlock door. There's another internal airlock door at the sort of north of the room, and then to the south of the room you're seeing like standard non-airlock doors.
I think this is about where we close the airlock behind us and see if we can't get this place pressurized again.
Alright.
There doesn't appear to be any control panels, but there is like internal comms units in the room. Oh, and you do also see that looks like a manual light panel over by the airlock door that you're standing there.
I'll
Flip the
flip
switch.
the lights on if they're not
Yeah.
already.
All right. As you switch on the lights, basically big halogen sort of like working lights in the roof of the cargo hold start switching on one by one from top to the bottom. You do notice that object made of twisted metal I mentioned earlier is not cool looking. It's a dark twisted metal. It looks like a steel alloy. It's basically a grotesque statue of excessively jointed, twisted limbs intertwined with screaming faces adorned with too many eyes. Some look human, some do not. It's about 3 feet wide by 5 feet high and about 2 foot thick. Broken pieces of a cargo crate are around this horrible effigy. The pieces are scattered outward as if a force blew the crate apart from the inside. You do notice now there are 6 bodies around it. Looks like the dead crew members of the Alexis. They are wearing like basically crew uniforms matching the livery of the Alexis on the outside. And they are kneeling around the relic with their hands or foreheads touching it, and they are not moving.
That is quite hideous.
I may not
tempted to-
be as...
Sorry, you guys talked over each other.
I may not be a scientist or anything, but I reckon that right there is causing all the problems going on around here.
Very likely. Mommy, you still have a bead on my location, correct?
Correct. Crackles over the comms.
How wide is the mining laser?
It can be tunable, such as when Phil fired on the Epsilon. You can sort of adjust the diameter and change the power output. Depends where the power is being used. We can reroute it from engines, or it's pretty customizable to a maximum of about maybe 10 feet in diameter.
How tall is this statue?
Shorter than that, she extrapolates, based on your answer.
I don't like this statue, and there's something unnerving about it. So I vote, and I'm going to use my captain authority to say we blow this thing apart with a mining laser.
I concur.
Does anyone want to add anything to that? Does anyone?
Is this over Ness? Are they talking over Net about
This is over the public comms. You can still hear it. Like, there's not separate. You have to manually choose to change channels.
I'll just basically say, I suppose, I just want to make sure that it's like power-wise we're all good. But yeah, I don't see a problem with that. What's the worst that could happen?
I mean,
Given
What's
past
the worst that
experiences-
can happen?
Given past experiences, mining lasers solve a variety of non-mining problems.
All right. Well,
versatile.
you basically back away from the artifact to either side of the door, and Mommy basically maneuvers the thrusters of the Kar Hadash, so the nose is facing directly through the eye of the needle, as it were, through the 2 airlock doors into the back wall of the cargo hangar with the eye line of the artifact, which is
Let's
like
make sure not to hit the Hannibal.
yeah.
Just for good measure, how about we get into Hannibal and just coast right outside the airlock so we're out of the way?
Yep, already on it.
Mommy messages basically over the intercom. Damien, do you want to take the control of the laser, or do you want me to take this one?
Yeah, I'll hop down and come around to the front of the ship and hop on the manual controls.
Alright.
What? You don't trust her?
It's more precise in the cockpit anyway. Not the cockpit. On the bridge. You have more precision on the bridge.
Sorry, Mommy, I didn't mean any offense when I said I would take controls.
No, understandable. I'll handle the maneuvering if you want to handle the firing.
Yes, you're clearly better at maneuvering than I would be, so I'll leave that to you.
Alright, so Mommy stabilizes it with the thrusters in sequence with the Alexis's spin, and gives you full control over the firing systems. So do you want to do a combat roll for me with the laser cutter on the front? And I want you to roll assuming 60 rather than whatever your stats are.
38.
Yeah, so just do a roll
for
and
combat.
yeah, just do a combat roll and we'll just assume it's 60 rather than
Oh.
Wow,
failure.
It's so bad it's good.
Alright. So
Oh right, you have to turn it on first. Oh fuck.
so you basically charge the laser and pull the trigger on the yoke, and unfortunately, when Phil was rewiring the thrusters of the ship, there wasn't all of the systems. It was basically just mainly the thrusters, and it seems like the laser capacitors were out of sync as well, and that's located at the front of the ship. So it's not really Phil's fault, but it's just something that didn't get caught in the routine check. And basically, you hear the laser power up and then power down.
Also,
I'll go look at it.
In world,
That was
to be
anticlimactic.
fair, I've never fired one of these before too, so
Mommy
I'll go
basically
check
gives
on
you
it.
Mommy basically gives you a diagnosis over the comms, about the that's probably like the power routing systems from the main drives to things like the battery banks for the laser.
I'll head over and get the rerouting set properly.
yeah, I'm like hopping out of the seat and kind of taking a sidestep so he can get in. And...
Oh no, it's all on a different side, so you can stay in the
Oh,
gun.
is
It's
it?
fine.
Oh, okay.
Phil, do you want to give me a
Similar roll.
yeah, similar
this
role to
be-
what you've been doing with the mechanical stuff.
Because I could also do jury rigging as well, makeshift repairs.
You pick. You can basically do jury rigging, or you can try and fix the existing systems with engineering.
Just grabbing all the wires and just wrapping them all together with
Oh,
electrical
that's too
tape.
low.
It looks.
really need to bump up my intelligence.
You notice now that looking at, you basically traced all the issues. You do a more comprehensive search for further issues. So you determine the ship's all in working order apart from that. But bad news. The laser capacitor banks are fried. You're gonna have to go to a dry dock for that one.
Oh,
well,
there
shit.
goes that
All right.
fun.
Guess I'm going back on the back gun or the top gun.
I mean, what's the visibility on to the do we have a direct line of sight to this
You
statue from position?
can when the ship maneuvers enough, but it's burning quite a it takes a little while to move it into line of sight, and it's gonna be trickier with the belly or dorsal gun
Oh,
than the main nose.
true.
But
Unless-
still doable.
unless-
If you still want to light up the artifact, it's still doable.
I have a possibility check.
Okay.
If we point the ship directly nose down, the autogun should be able to point upwards, so it would be a shot directly on, because you wouldn't be shooting it over the ship, you'd be shooting directly straight above the ship.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't even have to point straight down. We could do like a 45 degree as well.
Just need to
Mummy
get the...
Mummy acknowledges the plan with her control of the thrusters, and
Cool.
yeah, Damien will still have control of the gun.
Yep.
All right, do you wanna try another shot, Damien, with the target of
Yeah.
60?
Yeah, we'll give it a go. There we go.
Cool. You fire 2 rounds out of the double barrel autocannon turret. Boom boom. And then you basically see the auto loading chain feed rounds back into the system, and you see the rounds basically go through and hit true on the artifact, denting holes in pretty nasty holes, spoiling some of the steel and metal, whatever the composition of the artifact is. It's definitely damaged it.
I just say over the internal comms, shit, we didn't tell them we were firing the autocannons.
You do also see that there's holes, you can tell from the enhance on the computer, the targeting computer, that there's holes behind the artifact now in the wall of the Alexis.
Yeah.
Oh.
To be fair, I have been keeping my comms open with Sarna, so they'd at least hear us talking about saying, "Oh shit, the mining laser isn't working." Gotta
And you
switch
guys,
back to the.
you guys are kind of hovering outside in the Hannibal, right?
Yeah.
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 So the Hannibal's fine.
They're not in any danger.
Yeah. So it's definitely damaged the artifact, and it's sent 2 rounds through the wall of the ship out the back.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's
Unless
beyond it.
Unless anyone's gonna like
I would say the rounds
tell
went
me
through
to
like
stop
here.
firing.
Wait, damn it, I don't have the cursor. The rounds went through like here, and the Kahadash is like assume like here, with the Hannibal
Okay.
like there, just outside the cargo deck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if nobody's gonna tell me to stop, I'm just gonna put like total of like 5 bursts into it.
Mommy's alarm goes off for the 15-minute timer.
Well, we're not in the ship, so should be
We
fine.
should still get inside of our own. I'm assuming
Yeah.
the hull offers enough protection that we haven't been roasted yet.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna start maneuvering back to our ship.
While they're doing that, you want me to make a couple more rolls? Does it?
Do you want to keep shooting?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pull down the trigger then? How many rounds are you firing?
I'm doing 2-round bursts, just like the first 2 shots,
Yep.
and I'm doing 5 in total, so 4 more.
Okay.
We do have
do you want to do 4
pretty
rolls
limited
then?
ammo.
Huh? Well, how much ammo do we have? Like, I would have. Made,
Literally thousands of
stop at
rounds.
that.
The
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
fucking go for it.
Yeah, I'm just. Okay, cool. That one's still good. That one's. Yeah.
So 2 more rounds, punch. So 2 rounds basically hit like just miss completely.
No,
As-
because it's with 60.
Oh, it is 2. Yeah, sorry. So 4 rounds go through the artifact and back through the other side.
What does the 11 do? Where were we talking about doubles?
Yeah, that takes a big chunk off the artifact. That's a critical success.
Yes.
It doesn't do anything crazy like reload your gun for you or something.
Gun high fives me.
Mommy smiles
It
and winks
fixes
at
the
you.
laser.
Mommy comes.
fixes.
Mommy appears on the targeting computer and says, "You're doing such a good job," and then like pouts at you,
Oh, she distracted me. No.
and then you missed, sending 2 rounds way over the top of the elixirs.
All right, cool.
Oh no, the entire
So,
crew's horny for mom.
8 rounds hit in total.
You're welcome.
I think
Yeah,
that'll
with
be
the size of this,
decent.
with the size of these armor-piercing like anti-ship and torpedo rounds, like you basically like overpinned the fuck out of it and like reduce it to scrap. It's just a bunch of like
Okay.
spalled metal and shrapnel, kind of around the cargo bay. You've reduced it pretty
Alright,
significantly.
ceasefire.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on, or I'm just gonna talk to Sarna again. What else did you guys find in there? Because I couldn't really see a whole lot on the body cam.
There's this very ominous-looking statue with a bunch of bodies, kind of proselytizing on it, and they're all fucking dead. So I didn't trust it one bit.
Okay, no signs of life or
So
otherwise.
far, no.
Okay, what do you want me to do? You want me to hold or what?
Yeah, hold
Tim-
fire for now.
10 minutes remaining.
Roger.
We'll,
What's our course of action? Are you guys coming back? Or are you guys scouting around the ship more?
We're gonna come back for now while the what was it, energy spike or whatever the egghead said would go through, and then after that, go back in when the time restarts.
Egghead, I have a name, you know.
Right. Do we have a radius on that energy spike?
I don't think we-
Presumably, it's what took our ship out of our jump. And-
Novus, you assume it's localized to just the Alexis. It doesn't appear to be related to the jump drives failing. Based on the data you've got so far.
Okay. Well,
Which you can share
Regardless-
you shared to the crew, basically, we'll say.
yeah. You guys should probably board and then stay in the safety of the ship while it's spiking, and then we can fully talk together as one element, and then discuss more concretely what we're gonna do from there.
Mommy?
Yeah.
focus all your output on the Alexis when the energy spike begins. And about
In
2
terms of
minutes
scanning?
before and afterwards. Yes.
Copy that.
I want to see in detail what this energy spike's doing to the ship.
I'll focus external cameras on it as well and start recording.
Thank you.
Basically, you pilot the Hannibal back into the cargo bay and shut the external doors and repressurize the cargo bay on the Kar Hadasht. So, Aaron and Sana, you guys are back on. Biddle, out of character, how much time do we have before it's getting too late for you?
We have an hour and 20.
Oh, cool. Okay, I was thinking it was 15 minutes. I don't know why. Okay.
It was 15 minutes till 2 hour mark, but I can go for an hour and a half. Or an hour 15.
Only if you're sure. You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright,
Yep.
well, we'll go a little bit longer then. Alright, so you guys are back on the Kar Hadasht, and you're all kind of, I guess, Damien, I assume you've stolen the gun, ready for action.
Oh yeah.
Novus, you're focusing on your computer and, like, terminals and, like, Mommy's output, basically running the scans. What's Phil, Aaron, and Sana doing?
I'm gonna go to the mining lasers, capacitors, and just see if there's anything I can do to fix it, and ask off comms, what did they do to my baby?
Let me have a look at you. Gonna have a quick look at you, see if it's even possible beyond what Phil already did. You also have jury rigging. Nope.
I do not.
Yeah, no, I'd say whatever Phil could do, you basically can look over it and you determine with the same kind of level of knowledge of the ship and the heavy machinery and stuff, you determine that this is like, you'd basically have to replace a lot of the capacitors and battery banks, which is like pretty heavy duty hardware, which might be salvageable from something like the Alexis, or you'd have to take it to dry dock and buy new parts and like have them completely refit it. It's fixable, but you need replacements. You can't just like fix it with what you have on the ship. You don't carry spares for that much shit.
Alright.
And it's the mining laser, with how tunable and powerful it is, needs a lot of power storage and like reduction and
A lot of relatively delicate bits.
a lot of electrical stuff to basically stop it from blowing out the the main drive like reactor.
Yeah, I'll just radio to the crew. Anyone going on the next ground run, keep an eye out for any electrical bits. We're gonna need some for repairs on the mining laser.
Alright,
And then
out
I'll
of the game.
head back to the...
Oh, sorry. Out of
Go
the
ahead.
game, do you mind taking control of my character for like 10 minutes while I go AFK for a bit?
Sure. I'll assume you're running scans and just like keeping an eye on the Alexis when stuff happens.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you.
Cool. Alright, so the you guys eagerly await the oh sorry, what were you doing, Sana?
Just heading back to the command deck to wait out the pulse and
Okay.
if we have a plan, discuss it.
Alright. With the cameras trained thoroughly inside the cargo dock, time ticks down, and basically as soon as the 47 minutes are up between pulses, you start to see the lights flicker inside the Alexis's cargo hangar and atrium of the airlock. The lights flicker, go out, come back on. Killer from the gun computer, which is like zoomed in. It's got like magnification. You notice that there's like black tendrils like hair floating underwater.
Sure.
Basically looks like hair floating in the water, coming out of the strange relic, and it's like slithering into the ship deeper. You can see them like go through walls and into like deeper into the Alexis.
Okay, where's everyone else during this?
Around the ship. Like bridge.
Around our
and-
ship or
around
on the Alexa?
around your ship. You're all on
Alright,
the Kar
cool.
Hadasht.
All right, cool. Yeah. Hey Sarna.
Yo.
Yeah, fuck all of that, and I'm just gonna pull the trigger again.
But what happened?
You train the gun on the wreckage of the artifact or statue or whatever the hell it is, and as
yeah.
you're
No.
as you're zooming into basically about to pull the trigger, you notice one of the corpses of the crew. Its eyelids are fluttering. The orbs within the eyelids frantically searching for something, and their mouths are senselessly gaping open and snapping shut. You can't hear anything because obviously you're a whole ship away, but you can see all their extremities twitching spastically. And I want you to basically roll a fear check for me.
Okay.
Are they saying make us whole?
If they're saying something
What?
you don't know.
I'm like, nah, I don't give a shit. Fuck that. I'm just gonna fire.
Cool. So you fire 2 rounds and into the first thing you see, which is the a corpse in front of the relic, and you basically pink mist the occupant, send a round through like the body, and you basically send a round through the floor decking, and the other round goes into the relic again. Basically, it's nothing but twisted metal now. You don't see any of the screaming faces or anything. It's just shards of metal around the back of the cargo hold.
Cool.
But there's still the black tendrils kind of floating around it and moving around the ship.
Yes. So shooting the relic, or artifact, whatever we're calling it, artifact, I guess. Shooting it, does that do anything? Like, do the bodies react in any way directly from me shooting it?
Nope. It seems to be... Okay, basically, as you're doing this, then after a period of time you keep observing, nothing further happens except the twitching and the... You can't hear anything coming from the Alexis, because, again, you don't have comm... There's no comm connection with it. You have no one on the ship. But you eventually see the lights on the Alexis's cargo dock come back on, and the bodies stop twitching.
Okay.
And the black tendrils kind of fade and wink out.
How long did that whole thing take?
That whole thing? Probably about 10 minutes total. Pretty scary while you're watching it. I would say, though, that it's not the craziest shit you've seen, so... For now, we're not going to do a fear check. Other than Keller, who had a very close view of the bodies.
Yeah. I'll say I'm not afraid because I know that I'm like a kilometer away and there's no like realistic way for them to get to me, so I know that I shouldn't be afraid, or at least of like
they're clearly not moving under their own power either. They're not like moving around like creatures. They're just kind of twitching in the power surge as the lights flicker.
Yeah. I want to shoot 2 more times. One to either side, because there's bodies either side, right?
Yeah, there was 6. There's 5 left, basically. There's one that you ping missed it already.
Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can like pen through a couple of them, if that's possible.
Sure.
Or I don't know how sporadic they are. So, I'm just shooting 2 rounds left, 2 rounds right, and engaging it from there.
The rest of you can hear casings going into the casing like storage as the autocannons cycle rapidly, and you can definitely hear the autoloaders spooling as they feed autocannon rounds into the big
Actually, we have thousands of rounds. Fuck it.
Do we have to pay for our ammo, or does the
one
corporation cover that?
Corporation will cover a certain amount, but if you completely use up the hold space of ammo without much explanation, they might not replace it. Yeah. Basically, a bunch of rounds wildly go around the hangar, the cargo hangar. You've damaged the walls pretty significantly on the back wall. 2 more rounds basically go through bodies, and then another 2. So you basically turned into a real butcher shop around that corner. As pieces of bodies and gore is splattered around the walls, and you send big holes through the ship, and the twisted metal of the relic mixes with the gore and the shredded pieces of cargo holds to make a real horrifying little corner in that cargo hold.
All right.
Gonna key up the radio. Keep in mind, autocannon shells are expensive to replace after a certain point.
I will also say that this has now got lots of holes in it, this airlock door here. So if you were going to repressurize the Alexis somehow, that door would not function as an airlock.
Yeah. We'd have
Mommy.
to seal another door.
Mummy here.
Yeah.
Are there any mining lasers on this ship that we could salvage to repair ours? And is there a likely location of the reactor on this ship?
Looks like a standard, like an archaeological vessel. They're typically equipped with at least mining lasers for asteroid defense, much like ours. So there should be at least one, normally located at the prow. And then, in terms of thruster banks, from what we can see of the ship visually, I would estimate the power plants and thrusters are located at the rear, at the stern. So any internal rooms leading to power plants would probably be at the back. So if I was going to hazard a guess based on what you guys have found so far, I'd say the rear door would probably head towards power details, and then forward doors will lead to any sort of control over mining lasers.
Would our laser cutters be strong enough to cut through the hull of a ship like this?
Maybe not the external, that looks too thick, but potentially internal rooms, yeah.
Wonderful. Alright, a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Can we fire a single barrel of the autocannons?
Yep. It has single shot options.
How difficult would it be to, with armor-penetrating ammo, cut a strip across, say, the front port quarter of the ship?
The front port quarter.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
front quarter.
we'd have no
of the
way of
port side.
knowing what we're hitting without internal schematics. We could potentially be hitting
Oops.
survivors or important
Yeah,
hardware or...
There are
Survivors,
not no
yeah.
survivors. Not after.
the
that.
little emoji, the little emoji of the AI shrugs. I mean, you could definitely light this thing up. We've got the rounds to do so, but like, I just don't know
We
what would be
simply need
damaging.
We simply need to fire perpendicular to a normal arc of fire. I want to cut away the outer hull with the autocannon, so that we have a clear line inside to cover anybody with hand lasers cutting through the smaller stuff.
So, okay, so you want me to basically be a hole puncher?
We're using the cannons to... How do I describe this?
Punch holes.
Yes, we're going to be shooting from the front to the back on the side armor to shear it off instead of punching through it.
I guess we could try. I mean, it's gonna vent a lot of the ship if there's any atmosphere remaining, and yeah, it's definitely gonna open it up to whatever comes. I can do it, but just know that you might damage any sort of salvage.
We're aiming to only hit the outer hull. I don't think anything too critical will be stored in the outer hull. It's likely.
Now, do you want to target like all three decks or a particular deck? So bear in mind, you recall the schematic implying that the from what you can tell, the cargo deck that you're seeing with the airlock, that's on the bottom. That's the bottom deck of the Alexis, and then you've got the basically like a mid deck and then a top deck, and it kind of tapers up.
Where would the power banks be, most likely?
Probably in the largest proportion of body, which would be the lower deck. It's on the same floor as the cargo hold.
Let's start there.
And you're saying port, right? So like this side of the ship? This is
Either side,
where you guys
really.
are now at the starboard.
We'll go starboard then. Less effort.
And the front quarter, did you say?
Only far enough to get to a laser, mining lasers capacitors, really.
All right. So I'm gonna assume Mummy takes the controls back off you, Damien, as she
Sure.
as she slaves both the autocannons to her computer, and she basically rotates them both and fires basically a couple of bursts of her own, targeting the section mentioned by the crew. Damn, Mommy's good aim. None of that was off base. Okay, so you start to see holes ripped in the side lower deck on the port side after basically the ship has maneuvered around a little bit forward, and you basically now can see into what looks like a corridor with maybe like a ladder heading up further into the ship. The ladder luckily is intact, even though the rounds punched around it, which leads up further into the ship. You see then what looks like some sort of server or computer room. Potentially something important lies within. Looks like a big tube, and there's definitely some shrapnel around as rounds hit stuff. And then you also see what looks like a portion of some sort of, perhaps a lab, and then an airlock lobby.
How long until the next energy burst on their ship?
Looks like about 43 minutes.
We're gonna go. Let's go now.
Yeah, let's go. Who's coming with?
Well, if Mommy wants to stay on the gun, then I'm definitely coming with Sarna. From what I've seen, we're gonna need as many guns on this crew as we can.
What did you see?
Nothing good. And I'll turn my comms off to everybody and just talk to you and just to not instill a panic or potential panic.
Yeah.
The artifact was making, or presumably making, all of the bodies on the ground writhe, twitch, and contort very strangely, with their eyes opening and their eyeballs rolling around inside their heads and their mouths like opening as if a silent scream calling out, or maybe really screaming. I don't know.
Sana, can you do a fear check, please?
Already passed my fear check. Get it together, Chief. No! Get it together, Chief!
Alright, so after hearing this story, you are getting kind of, not hyperventilating, but like, you're getting a little bit shorter of breath as you remember the, what you felt when you were on the, Epsilon 14. Basically, you can gain 1 stress, please, Lolly.
Alright. I reply back. I see.
You pull it together with your marine, like your security officer training, and your coolness under pressure, but like it's definitely not something you want to hear.
Yeah.
Sarna, I'll say that like I pulled you off to where the envirosuits are. What are they called? Envirosuits or
Vac-suits?
Vac-suit.
Vac-suits. Where like the little room is where like all the vac-suits are for the crew, and like I'm telling you this as I'm suiting up, like putting the. Would we have to replace our helmets, or do we have helmets with our kit, or is it just like a hat?
Talking about the battle dress?
Yeah.
I would assume helmets with our
Okay.
dress.
So
It's
we're
a
replacing.
full dress, so I'd say
So-
helmet, armor, and shit.
The battle
we're
dress is
replacing our
the battle
helmet
dress is
with-
basically described as having like, it's basically like flak, like it's like coveralls, leather jackets, light plated armor, standard dress for Marines. The
Okay.
picture looks like it does from the newer rulebook, so I would say it's like kind of like the Alien Marines.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, yeah,
So, like,
I
a
get a
step-
Colonial Marine vibe.
It's basically like
So
flak
probably-
gear,
Yeah.
and like
probably,
a
like,
shrapnel
slightly
helmet.
like a step down from Colonial Marines.
Yeah, it's like
In
a light.
between
It's,
that and
it's
like
like
security.
it's like a flag. It's like a flak jacket, a light like helmet, and like webbing and stuff, and like ballistic resistant like coveralls, like
Okay.
Kevlar weave pants or whatever. And then you've got you can obviously the vac suit's
Yeah,
huge, so you can kind of put the vac suit over the top of any of that sort of clothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I'm like sealing my helmet, I'm like, listen, things are about to get a lot worse. and I need
Novus
to be prepared for it.
Novus Stella has kept a pretty accurate timing log of the power fluctuations, but has noticed they haven't really changed, even though you basically slagged that artifact. And she is still just like keeping track of the time and like seeing if she can glean anything else from the readings. What's Phil and Aaron up to while those guys are doing suiting up montage?
I'm getting the boarding ship ready again.
All right, so doing
Yep.
like checks on the Hannibal and stuff like that.
Hmm.
All right, that's
I'm
all.
getting a
Right.
coffee.
Nice.
What's
Phil just
what's
vibing.
give me a time on how long this takes, Dozer, to suit up, kit up. Well, I mean, we're already kitted
With
up,
your
but,
guys'
like,
experience, probably like 5 minutes with the
Okay.
heavy vac suit. Vac suits are pretty heavy duty, but like
And
the
then-
battle dresses you're already basically wearing. So
okay, getting back to the shuttle and then prepping the shuttle to take off again.
yep. So I'll say 10 minutes total. Like you were pretty much ready to go already.
Okay, so it's been 10 minutes, so we have about 30 minutes until the next power flux.
Yep, I'd say that's about right.
Okay.
Where you heading?
I'm thinking we should probably wait to see what happens, because I shot into the artifact after, like, as it was fluctuating,
Mm-hmm.
and then right after. So maybe we should wait and see what happens at the next window and gauge from there.
Yeah.
And see if anything changed.
I concur with this plan.
Because we're already partially a ways in from the previous window to the next window, and I'd rather go, if it's still the same, I'd rather go right after it stops. That way we have maximum time on that ship to find out what the fuck's going on. And
So you
And
guys
then
just want to
also
wait,
get the fuck out of there.
wait the timer down?
We
Yeah,
do
yeah,
have
I'll-
about 20 minutes before we need to be leaving. That'll give us 10 minutes to get aboard the shuttle and out of the energy. And then that would put us right next to the ship for the next spike still. It wouldn't hurt
Alright.
to make sure that the hallway we'll be walking into is clear.
okay, fuck it, let's do that. We'll have enough time to get into the main room where the artifact is, clear that room, check down the hallway, potentially try to close that door. I know I put a bunch of holes through it, but
That door is
Wow.
not going to effectively close anymore.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
and then we'll
hoping
beat feedback to the
pressurize.
shuttle. I didn't put these
As a-
bullets in the gun.
I was hoping to pressurize on the assumption that there was a chance the crew is still alive. That chance is now gone. I don't care about pressurizing the ship anymore.
Alright, so are you guys taking the Hannibal into the cargo bay again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you just going to stop in the atrium again or go all the way in?
What? Atrium plus hallway?
Sorry, so we like point out on the map where you guys are landing the Hannibal.
So, is
Fuck, I
this
might as well
is
just-
this the atrium or is this the atrium?
That's the atrium. That's the cargo hold. Like basically, this is the the space between the airlock doors. This one here.
Okay, so we're going into the room where the artifact is, and clearing that room. And then you said this door was busted, right?
Yeah, that's got holes in it, and it's clearly like not gonna pressurize unless you weld
Okay.
panels over them.
Okay, but
Sure.
these two door, or is this a hall? Or I mean, I
Those
guess
are
we'll
those are
find
little
out.
internal like push doors. They're not like sealable airlocks, and these are like proper airlocks. The symbol here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. I say we'll go in here, check out how this looks. We'll go here, check out how this looks, and then I want to check this door.
Alright, so I'm assuming you've landed the Hannibal already. Like, as
Oh,
you're
yeah.
saying that, Aaron's taking the Hannibal in.
Yeah, might as well, yeah.
Phil, you have a nice big cup of coffee in the mess on the kahadasht.
Finally. And I will just look at it.
Okay. You have a nice sit down. There's like gentle music coming in over the mess. It's like
I'm on break.
Elevator music, elevator music.
It's that one music on Fallout 3 when you're in Tenpenny Towers.
Novus, while you were away, you did notice basically there was a fluctuation at 47 minutes on the clock. Killer saw some horrifying shit that he hasn't really shared with anyone but Sana, and you don't record any changes in the power fluctuation, and you also don't notice anything that will get you out of this predicament anytime soon.
Okay,
At least with the jump
so
drives.
Nothing's changed.
No,
pretty
and then
much.
Sana, Aaron, and Damien have gone over on the Hannibal to investigate the Alexis while you're in the middle of two power fluctuations. You've got about half an hour till the next one.
Well, I guess if Mommy can handle things mostly.
I will just remind you that Mommy did record camera feeds of the whole Alexis while that was all happening.
Alright then. Pull them up.
Alright, do you want to basically you pull up the CCTV footage from the external cameras of the Kahadash during the last power fluctuation, and you basically see the feed from Killer's camera of what he saw.
Oh.
So can you
Thanks a lot, Killer.
can you do a fear test, please?
Fear test?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You see bodies writhing and twitching. You see their eyes flickering like the eyelids, as if they can see behind their eyelids. Mouths agape and twitching. Black tendrils coming out of the ruin of the artifact and going through the walls deeper into the Alexis. And you can basically see the lights flickering both in the cargo bay from Killer's gun sight, and then you also see lights flickering in other parts of the ship the cameras are trained on, like the corridors, portholes, and crew cabin portholes. The bridge, you can't really see anything because of the blast doors, but all the lights that were remained on the Alexis were basically flickering all at once, even though they were off when you guys entered the system.
Okay, I'm gonna roll now, but does anyone have a cross or preferably an Aquila?
Cool, you're fine.
Oh.
You pull yourself together and say, it's just data, I'm collecting data to learn more scientifically. And you manage to pull yourself together.
Don't worry, I also know how to pull myself together. Take swig from engine oil alcohol.
Sure. You've depleted it by like 1/8.
Holy hell, how big is that bottle?
It's like a couple of liters.
It's an engine oil bottle.
Okay, well in that case, yeah. I thought it was like one of those like
We'll say it's 1.5 liters.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, I'm pleasantly surprised at the fear check.
Phil, are you still on break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dozo, I was just going to say that I'm getting a bit tired myself, so I'm going to probably shoot off. But what I'll do is just, you can keep going for us until, like, you get to a nice, like, point you think is a good stopping point. I'm just going to be on break, and especially on break. If you need my character to do any, like, quick repairs or do any certain roles, you can do it, but...
I'll say Phil goes for his mandatory, like, union sleep. Like, you go...
I was woken up. We went straight from takeoff to shoot off to put into sleeper. The second I was woke up from sleeper, I was told do repairs. So I haven't had any of the union break / union shower.
So you're taking them now. You're taking all the Teamster union breaks now. So I'll let you know what happens later. All right.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Take care, dude. Have a nice night or morning.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
See you next weekend. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
All right. So yeah, we won't go too far then, but we'll go a little bit longer, just while Phil's sleeping.
Alright. So the two things I want to do are find and salvage the mining laser power source to repair ours, and find the reactor to loop it into itself and overload it and send this entire ship out in a nuclear haze of glory and exterminating whatever the fuck is in here.
Yeah.
All right.
Any objections?
We should probably make sure our ship can get clear. Has the capabilities of getting clear. After the whole ordeal.
Mommy confirms that you could probably still move away far enough from the Alexis to detonate it safely. But
Okay.
obviously you're not leaving the system anytime soon still, with the jump drive down.
Okay, in that case, I have no objections.
Alright, we're on the clock. Let's get going.
Alright.
Mommy, the mining lasers are near the front of the ship, correct?
Typically, they should be located at the prow of pretty much any vessel this far out.
Wonderful. I'm gonna try and open this door.
Alright, you can cycle the airlock manually with the crowbar as before, because it doesn't appear like the... It's like it's resisting your will to enter the ship deeper, with the old remote panels not kind of responding. Like the main computer must be offline or something. So can you give me a strength check, adding the if you've got heavy machinery and the crossbow? If anyone wants to assist, you can do it with advantage.
Absolutely.
Alright, Sana helps you, so you can have advantage.
Yeah,
Advantage.
I'm covering from afar.
28 out of 50.
Airlock cycles, and basically you can now enter the atrium of the airlock, and then now it's responding to you for whatever reason. Do you want to open the other side as well?
Yeah.
Do you want
Actually,
to open them together
I
at the
want-
same time, or cycle it? Like shut the rear door, open the next door.
I'm gonna get one of the skeleton mechs and break this door open.
You just opened that door. Do you want to?
Yeah,
Like,
I want to
leave it-
break it so that it stays open no matter what happens
Okay, so
outside of an active god.
you basically can you give me a actually don't bother. The skeleton mech's pretty capable. So and you know enough about mech use to pilot it kind of roughly. Takes 5 minutes, we'll say, of you basically moving it over using its little pincer hydraulic hands to break the servo and the worm gear system in the door's rail. So yep, that door is now permanently open. Unless you fixed it, theoretically.
We should take that with us. It's kind of useful.
I want to.
There's 2 in the cargo hold.
Next door.
Next door,
I
you
will
can.
open.
Next door now, for whatever reason, seems to work with just the panel. So you now reveal a long corridor.
Alright.
To your right is obviously the hole into vacuum, and you see a ladder heading up into a hole in the next deck up, and then to your left you see the airlock door that must lead out of the ship. You can extrapolate.
Real quick, you said this was what, just swinging doors?
Yeah, just kind of internal doors you could just like push open, or like
Okay.
basically open with a handle.
Like backing towards them, like keeping my eye on just like this area left and down.
Cool.
And then like covering from the rear, like stepping in between the
You can also,
pincers.
you guys can also see that this is just like a corridor that goes around the corner, basically. It's just like an open corridor.
Alright, I'm gonna like just peek around the corridor
Alright,
and
so you peek,
just have my
you peek around the corridor, you see it's basically leading to another airlock door, and the airlock door you basically shot through, and you've got basically holes all down the left wall of this corridor that are clearly from you. Like, you can work out based on the angles, it was like your bullet holes that are like peppering this wall here.
okay.
Are these-
Anything good?
Are these holes like small holes from spalling punching through unarmored surfaces, or is this the shell came through here as an entire shell?
The bullet went through. Like, it's like a 30 mil Vulcan style, like, hole. Like, you know, almost a basketball hole, like, out, like, exit wound in the wall of the ship. And then another hole in the other side, like, leaving.
Just a bunch of cantaloupes.
There's a bit of spalling and a bit of, like, metal shards around, but it's not, like, crazy destructive. They're still just, like, clear holes.
But in a pinch, if we need to get to that spot, Mommy can still provide supporting fire
Probably, yeah.
fairly effectively.
I don't think the rounds will get caught up except for heavy steel, and there's only a few places in the ship where it's probably shielded like that.
Alright.
Is there anything in the hallway or like along the walls of the hallway?
Are you saying you peer into the gloom even further with your, the vac suit torches? I'll leave that up to you.
Within my range of vision normally, without being too noticeable, like, how far down would I be able to see somewhat clearly?
Because of the holes and a little bit of the starlight and the main searchlights on the Kar Hadash kind of still coming through the cargo hold, it's relatively illuminated all the way towards the end, though there's a couple of shadows and stuff in these, like, door recesses.
Yeah. Like, is there anything on the walls? Any, like...
Blood?
Anything, yeah, okay, good.
There's some blood spray on one of the walls.
Any, should I say, air quote, debris in the hallway on the floor?
You hear something skitter underneath the floor of the hallway.
Yes, good. Okay.
Clearly through some sort of, like, access under the wall, under the floor.
Does the blood say cut off the limbs?
Doesn't say anything. It's just spray.
Bunch of, like, semi-humanoid handprints, lol.
You can't tell if it's spray from the body you pink misted in the corridor, just like in the cargo hold, just leaking through into the corridor, or it was already there. You know, you can't tell.
All right, yeah, just like leaning back towards Sarna, just like, yeah, we got more. And
I'm gonna say you've got about 25 minutes remaining to the next pulse, according to your comms timers.
Okay. Yeah, we got something with us on the ship, and it is active.
Copy that.
So we're really on the clock now.
Sarna,
We should probably... Yeah.
are you good with melee weapons?
Yes.
You'll get more use out of this than I will, and I will hand Sarna my vibe shetty.
Oh shit.
I expect it back when we're done.
Absolutely, Captain.
You believe there might be venting systems running all through a lot of the rooms of the ship, based on what you heard, Killer?
Yeah.
At least access tunnels and, you know, wiring areas and ventilation areas, like the standard kind of industrial shit you have on all ships, running like outside of the crew access areas.
Yeah. Just to hide a lot of the piping and stuff, all the maintenance
electrical,
shit.
water, oxygen,
hydraulics,
all that stuff.
Cool.
Vents?
Right. Yeah, Lolly, you take middle, I'll take rear.
Yeah. I have basically I'll have a vibe shetty in my offhand and the SMG in my other.
Are there such things as like not heartbeat monitors, but like movement detectors, like the whole whoom, 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 whoom.
Probably, but wasn't issued as part of your meteor core kit.
Yeah, no, I'm just making a mental note of something that I need to get.
Sure.
Get the fucking motion tracker.
To your left and right, Aaron, you see in front of you. You see an airlock door. Basically, the one in front of you. The airlock to this room is dented and gouged.
This part of the ship in particular didn't get our autocannon shells, did it?
Nope. To your right, you see a door marked life support. To your left, you see a door marked call, and that's just like a nameplate with like a crew chief label. And then in front of you, it says science lab.
Well, prepare for a surprise meeting. I'm gonna pop open Paul's door.
Call.
Yeah,
It's like
Call.
Kaul. His name. It's just in like Sharpie on the under his like crew chief badge.
Better
Alright.
call.
All right, you open up Call's crew chief room, and you can enter if you like. You don't see any movement. You do see a body on the ground. It's probably Call.
Thank you, Noah.
There's a mirror in the cabin by a sink. The mirror has been covered by a dirty t-shirt taped over the mirror. There's a locker as well, and a small bed, and like a desk.
I'm gonna go ahead and prod Call's body with the harpoon of my rigging gun. Make sure it doesn't move.
Nope. No movement.
Alright.
He's definitely dead.
Nothing.
He appears to be
Nothing.
ripped along the torso. There's gore all under him. He definitely appears to have been physically attacked.
Nothing spooky about his corpse.
Nope.
I'm gonna touch on my like comm link. Hey, mind stepping on his head for me? Weird request, I know. Give him a real good
Understandable
stomp.
given. Yeah, I'm gonna crunch.
Yep, it takes a couple of blows, but with your android strength, you crush the skull with relative ease, and brain matter and gore splatter around it.
Alright, let's just see if there's anything
Understandable
useful in
request,
this
given what's
room
going
and keep moving.
Yeah, I'm gonna pat him down, look for pockets that might have stuff, and then rifle through his desk.
If you weren't an android, I'd make you probably do a save for that, like just crushing a skull under your boot. But I'm assuming you're just purely pragmatic right now. And I'm assuming
combat android.
And I'm assuming with the two Marines with you, they've seen kind of that sort of thing before, maybe.
Yeah,
They've seen
some
gore if
shit.
they were Marines.
Yeah.
Alright, so crew chief's quarters is basically searched. That's kind of all you're seeing there.
Okay.
Nothing worth noting in
Locker
whatchamacallit,
or
his
anything.
dresser.
You want to look in the locker?
Yeah.
Alright, you open up his locker. It's got obviously clothes, and there's like a poster with some exposed breasts on it, like a pinup. And then there is a lavish chess set, and a gorgeous tarot deck, and some bone dice. It's clear Call was a bit of a gamer.
Nice.
Based.
Nice. I'm gonna take the... It was mentioned that we need more games for our rec room, so I'm gonna take all that, including the poster.
Yeah, our
Alright.
colonists are getting pretty bored.
Alright, you stow it in like the back. Basically, there's like a storage zip pocket thing on the back of the vac suit.
Alright, let's we got like
there was-
20 minutes left. Let's get to the lab.
There's
Uncover
also
them
a
here real quick.
dresser, right?
Sorry?
What'd you say? Wally?
Oh, it's just a
Serna
locker.
wants to...
Sorry. What's Sana doing?
Serna wants to uncover the mirror.
You want to uncover the mirror?
Yeah.
Alright. Nothing. It's just a mirror, seemingly.
Yeah. Okay.
It just shows the back of the wall, like, opposite the mirror.
You see something out of the corner of your eye. Dart in the mirror.
Turn off the lights, light a candle, and say Bloody Mary 3 times. I'll change real quick.
Um,
You
not pressurizing
you
all my
notice
candles.
you notice above the mirror is like a vent, which clearly leads kind of towards like you think it leads towards the science room, based on its placement on the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
happening.
let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Alright,
Alright.
and off
We
the
will
ship we
live.
go. We're taking
No,
a vac
well-
suit.
Well,
Taking
hold
one
on.
of those skeletons,
let's-
right?
Oh, yeah, we're taking both of them. What are you fucking talking about?
You still probably have
I
around
wanna
20.
leave one here,
I'm gonna
just
say
in
you
case.
still got around like 15 to 20 minutes, around 17
Yeah.
or so, or whatever.
Let's check the lab door. Just specifically just the door and see if it is openable. Not go in, just see if we can access it.
You want to try and cycle the airlock? Because it is an airlock door, this one.
Yeah, I'll, or someone ahead of me, just so I can keep eyes on the rear. You guys want to just, like, try to see if it's functionable?
Might as well.
You
While we have time.
tap the release button, and it seems to cycle this door fine
Okay.
into the airlock, leading
Cool,
to the
good to know.
science lab. You can see
Alright,
holes in this atrium, and you can see through into the corner of the science lab, and you definitely see blood in there, and what looks like maybe computer equipment, because of the hole
Alright.
rent open by the cart hadashed in the side. So basically, you've got a clean sight line from basically the side of the airlock to this corner of the science lab, of just
Alright.
rent through the side panels of the ship.
Yeah.
Those holes are big enough to climb through, right?
Probably not. You'd probably have to enlarge them with a laser cutter.
Alright.
And this door may just open. We haven't tested it yet.
I would like to spend the next, let's say, if we have 16 minutes left, or fuck it, 15 minutes left, I'd like to spend the next 10 minutes pushing all these bodies out into space. Or just, away from the artifact, including Call's body.
Alright, does
Like,
anyone
look-
does anyone want to help him?
Please,
I'm
please,
just gonna keep an eye on the captain.
yeah.
I'll help.
Alright, so
Yeah. Aaron, help me. Sarna's covering.
Damien, could you do a speed check? Because I think speed is probably more the priority than strength. So could you do a speed
Okay.
check with advantage for you guys
Oops.
double handling these corpses?
Yeah, here, let me keep
Where are
that.
you throwing them? Just out this this
we're
airlock?
so we'll take this one body here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could. So we'll take this body and literally just kind of just
You can either
push
basically
it
throw it away from you
into
guys
space.
out into the port airlock, or you could theoretically just throw it through the holes or whatever's easiest.
yeah, we'll just go whatever's the fastest.
Probably
and
this
then
airlock.
I
It
would-
opens fine.
I would be coming back into here wherever the artifact is and scooping up whatever's an actual body.
There's
and not just
3
bits.
left of the crew.
Yeah, and just dragging them to where we came in and just pushing them out
When
into space.
when you pick up Call's body,
Uh-huh.
give me 1 second.
It's icky.
It's
End of
icky.
story.
Yeah, it's dripping gore still. It's
Alright.
slow though. He's been dead for a while. You think?
Yeah, it's all coagulated and shit.
Yeah, it's not fresh. But on Call's body, a trowel, basically a garden trowel, falls out of his pocket.
It's a trout.
Oh, like a little
Like a little
yeah, the little shovels.
The little garden
Oh,
spade,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we call them little garden hose. Not the big ones though. But yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, actually, sorry, you guys. Can you give me the speed check, by the way,
Yeah.
with advantage?
Bench.
Nice. And then moving to the main cargo hold. I'm assuming you're pushing these bodies just out the fucking open airlock into
Yeah,
space.
literally just dragging them out and then just kicking them off the
Alright.
edge.
And one of them, you notice a collapsible shovel is on them, mounted on
Oh.
their belt, basically.
Like a little
Like
e-tool.
an e-tool?
Basically an e-tool, yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll just kind of
I'll take that.
Excuse you.
If you want it, you can have it.
I'm gonna hook it onto my belt.
And then one more body in the main cargo hold.
Ma'am. Yeah. I like that they just have all this random digging equipment on them. I mean, they are archaeologists. I
You
guess.
find another collapsible shovel.
There. All right, here.
Are you sure? Do you want this one?
No, I already have one,
All
you
the
dick.
the rest of the bodies are basically fucking ruined, and there's no discernible
I mean,
information.
I'm genuinely surprised they even had these on them.
You are pretty quick with it, but still carrying bodies between 2 of you while Sana covers you. It still takes a bit of time. So I'll say you've got about 5 minutes left before the
Yep.
Alright,
the pulse
Time to
timer.
fucking like it.
Yep. Now that we're
Yeah,
right
we
next to the
skedaddle.
ship, let's go.
All right. Can you all give me a speed? Just one person do a speed test. Who's piloting the Hannibal?
Probably Aaron.
Aaron,
That's
could you
me.
do another speed test with basically advantage for the guys helping you get stowed away and get out of there quickly?
Oh fuck! What are we
piloting?
doing with the skeleton too?
You're piloting, right?
Fuck it.
Yes.
We'll leave the skeleton. We'll come back for the skeleton the next time.
The skeleton mechs aren't going anywhere. They're lashed down to the deck.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Theoretically.
We're not so much on the clock.
So with advantage with piloting?
Yep, you can add that. You're a good pilot. You
Advantage.
you basically left all the systems in place, ready to spool it up quickly.
Hey, that's a good thing I had advantage.
Christ, yeah. Cool.
Hey, 99 gang.
So as you're basically leaving, in the nick of time, systems go. You fire the thruster as you start to hear the lights flicker behind you, and engines and like electrical systems popping, and the bodies don't seem to be doing anything. The ones that you can see floating in vacuum, out of the cargo hold as you fly past. But you could have sworn as you were leading the airlock atrium, you heard like an otherworldly scream. You basically, it's like a piercing scream, and you feel a deep sense of primal terror within your bones as you definitely all heard it. Can all three of you give me a fear test, please?
And these are at disadvantage because I'm an android.
Yeah. So Damien, grab a stress. You actually roll twice because you might get a critical failure.
What?
Like Lolly did. Alright, so get grain of fear, Damien. Aaron,
Wait.
you're fine.
Wait, what do I do? Stress?
Yeah, one stress. Just add it up one. And then Sana, I will say... How does this work? Give me 1 second. I'm just checking this stuff a little bit more this time, just so I don't do it wrong, like last time. You critically failed a save, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Am I gonna have to wrestle my chief of security for control of the pilot?
I'm gonna need you to make a panic check.
All right.
So give me a second, I'll find the page about it, because we haven't done one of these before.
Oh god damn it.
You really do not like the sound of that thing screeching, whatever it is. And you kind of start hyperventilating a little bit, thinking about the last mission, and the derelict floating in there, filled with corpses and gore.
It's fine. Only 3 people
so-
died.
So, what is a panic check? So make a stress check. Like normal, so just 2d10s.
All right. Does one resolve come into play at this at all?
Yes, yeah.
So how does that work?
So just roll a 2d10 first, and I'll tell you basically if you need to use the resolve.
All right.
Because what's your stress at currently?
My stress is at 3.
3? Okay. If you roll over your current stress, you don't panic and you relieve 1 stress. So you're fine.
Okay.
You calm yourself down. Basically, because you're safe in the Hannibal, as you guys left just in time. And you lower your stress by 1, and basically if you'd gone equal or higher, you would panic, and then the resolve would basically like affect how bad that is. So resolve helps with the panic, but like you didn't panic, so it doesn't matter.
All right. I would say so on fucking Damien's heart rate monitor for the squad. It starts going rapid.
Yeah.
Like it was at like 85, 90. Now it's at like 103, going up to like 108, 110.
Between Cerna and Aaron, there is the average of 1 heartbeat, or 1 normal heartbeat, because Aaron doesn't have a heart, and Cerna's freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
as we
gonna-
start getting further away from the ship, the heart rate starts to slow.
Yeah. It's like patting her on the back, like, it's all right. We are gonna have to go back in, but we
I'm
know
fine,
a little
I'm
bit more what to expect now.
Yeah.
Quite a few times, actually.
Yeah.
If you're not well, I would prefer you stay on the Kartadash and keep on the autocannons with Mommy's assistance.
It's fine. It's fine.
Alright. Let's see about getting into more of the ship then, and I will go back to land in the hangar and repeat the process all over.
Alright, so the situation fluctuates and basically goes away, and then now you can continue. You're back in the atrium, I guess? Or are you back in the Kahadash's hangar?
No, we're back in the atrium.
Back in
It's
yeah, okay.
fine for now.
Nova Stella, you notice from doing your tic-tacking away on the terminal while the last power fluctuation happened, you do notice that they're pretty much like perfect quantum time, like exactly 47 minutes. Like not even just a small element of error, like they are exactly 47 minutes apart. You also notice that it appears to be emanating from the main... You're getting a lock, basically, that, like, the waves of power are definitely coming from the cargo hold. But you also detect a very similar signal coming from the planet in the system. It's fainter, but it's similar. The same kind of unreadable energy.
Where is the planet in regards to where the Alexis is like facing? So like if the Alexis is like quote flat, where is the planet?
Like, above it.
Okay.
It's kind of like
Alright.
pointing down. If you look at like galactic flat plane, the
Yeah,
Alexis, and then the
okay.
planet's like in the center of the system. And there's also a very crappy little moon off to the side of it.
Yeah.
Alright. Flip up in our public communications, and I go, alright, you want to put an end to this power surge? It's located somewhere in the cargo deck. We also might have to go and Death Star the planet, considering there's apparently similar readings coming from there.
Well, you don't accept
Okay.
These are?
means to
Well-
Death Star a planet.
Yeah. Well, okay. We found the source on the ship, so don't worry about that. We know what it is or where it is. We don't know what the fuck it is actually. I don't know how we're gonna quote destroy it, considering a bunch of fucking 30 mil rounds did basically nothing to it.
I have
We're
some
gonna
thoughts on
detonate
that.
the ship.
I mean, it blew a bunch of fucking holes in it, but it doesn't seem to stop it from emanating or producing some
artifact
sort of
was
surge.
Are you guys still on the Hannibal in the atrium, or have you disembarked?
We're probably disembarking as we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
You
we're,
hear
like, right.
you hear a dull thumping, and like it sounds violent, and like it's pretty faint because of the lack of like the very faint atmosphere in this basically this room. Like pretty much everything's blurred out. It's pretty much vacuum apart from like you're basically feeling the vibrations in the walls and shit.
Yeah,
But
it's
you can hear banging and thumping coming from like this direction.
Yeah, it's
We've got
basically like
company.
trying to hear shit underwater.
Yeah, you can feel like the deck under you reverberating and stuff. Like you sense it. You sense there's something like slapping into like walls and
Okay.
making a lot of banging and thumping. It doesn't sound mechanical either.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big and mechanical, Aaron, can we go over to the other skeleton and you give me a rundown on how to use it?
Sure. I'll help him into the one that I've already unfastened to break the door.
Cool.
And I'll just give him a quick rundown on how to move the arms, legs, clamps.
Alright. Can you give me an
Okay.
intellect check?
Yeah.
Me
And-
or
You. Aaron. I want you to give me an intellect check, and I want you to use linguistics as your bonus.
Do I get any bonus from also having heavy machinery, or does that just allow me to do
Yep,
this?
no, you can add them together. You can have a 15% bonus for all the other extra ones, like heavy machinery and piloting.
Alright.
And you've also got military training, so you use the same terminology a grunt would use.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep, so you give a
worry,
pretty damn good little course, a quick course that's very easy to understand for the lad, for Damien.
Don't
and
worry, I
it's,
speak Cran Eater.
he'll be a fucking skeleton mech pilot in no time. You go over and fire up the second mech, and all systems are nominal.
All right. I'm gonna leave it where it is, but
Do you want to leave it lashed down, or do you want to release the like strops?
no, it'll still be like standing or whatever, like idle position, but it's gonna be released and like ready for use, like it's
Cool.
in like standby.
They basically have magnetic feet, like they basically have mag boots, like on there, like so they can like walk around the deck even in 0G. But like you can also release those, and they have a little bit of maneuvering thrusters, much like your vac suits do, but they're not really designed for moving around in vacuum.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
just about to ask that because I have a thought about how to get to the reactor and something to do with it.
Trust me, yeah, I was also thinking that as soon as I heard mag boots.
So, once we find this mining laser capacitor, we're taking a walk on the hull of this ship, right? That's the plan.
Oh yeah, and we'll like rip the fucking thing out of it if we can't figure out a different way to get it.
I will say you've got
Yeah.
like 35 minutes before the next power fluctuation, based on
Okay.
time spent in the cargo hold.
All right.
Sana, have you just been sitting around like guarding them basically?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Let's go to the lab real
Yeah.
quick, and then I think that's as much of the back of the ship as I'm keen on seeing.
You two go on ahead. I'm gonna cut an exit here just in case, and I'm going to widen this gap with my mining laser,
Okay. Sorry,
or laser cutter.
or chief. Oh boy. Here I go, melee in the back. Alright, so I'll cycle the first set of airlock doors after peering inside the airlock.
That was still open from when you guys were last here.
Oh, good, right. I forgot. We actually opened the doors. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you can. Do you want to cycle the second set?
Are the airlock doors? Do they have windows on them, or are they just?
They're
fucking-
kind of like circular bulkheads with like a big latch, like a physical door handle, like kind of like a ship, like a naval ship's wheelie door.
Okay.
Like there's a big wheel to basically open them, or there's a button that'll basically like hydraulically release them.
Okay. Let's do like the valve wheel and then like open it slightly.
Alright. Looking into the room, you can basically see there is a bunch of corpses and pieces of body parts commingled and strewn about the room, mixed in with computer equipment and stationery and shit, just in complete disarray.
Cool.
You don't know if that's caused by the bullets that rent the side, or was there kind of already. You expect there already, because the bullet holes are relatively clean by comparison to the wreckage inside.
Okay. All right.
I will also say you see enough of the room to basically reveal it.
Okay. Whoa. Just from the crack that I've made in this, do I see like enough intact where there seems to be some sort of usable like shit in here? Whether it's like actual equipment or computers or whatever?
Nope, it looks pretty fucked. Like everything's been either deliberately destroyed or by complete accident. It's hard to tell, but it looks like none of the computers are going to be functional, let alone repairable. They're in literal pieces. You also see a vent on the left wall that looks like it leads back to the crew quarters, like the vent you saw in here.
Uh-huh.
So you can probably
Yeah,
draw. You can probably pretty comfortably assume there is a funny vent that goes like this.
Sure. Alright, cool. Is it literally just one of those like grated vents?
Yep, it's got like
Where
a
there's
it's got like a
it's
fan.
like Okay. Yeah, it's just like 4 screws would like. Hold
Yeah,
it
yeah.
on or
It's
something.
literally like a ventilation shaft with maybe some like ducting and maybe some wires and shit.
Okay.
Just gonna redraw that
Cool.
a bit later. There we go.
All right. Sarna, I need you to cover me from. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm like almost burping and it hurts. I hate it. Sarna, I need you to cover me from inside the lab. Um, and we'll fully open the door, just in case we need to make a ready exit. And this way, Aaron can also have full view of us, or at least as much of a view as they can. While I'm searching the bodies or countertops, any sort of like access badges, pieces of paper that aren't covered in blood or torn apart or whatever.
Cool.
Just
So,
anything that's
you're
like
searching
tangible.
the body, like what remains of the bodies.
Yeah.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Like cautiously doing it before, so like kicking, prodding, whatever I can, or like picking something off a counter and
I
like
would say
throwing it at it.
there's probably 2 of the 3 that are intact enough to search, quote unquote. And
Okay.
you find a stone idol under one.
Good.
Looks like screamy
Good.
faces, kind of like the relic, but made of stone instead. It's a black
Love
kind
to
of
see it.
pockmarked stone. And then you also find a 2d10 credits. I will on the other one.
Is that a U roll or a me roll?
I'll roll that one for you. You
Okay.
get 11 credits.
Great.
Oh, sweet change.
Yeah, you basically find some like pucks that can be loaded into a holotape.
Okay. Did I ever add up? I know I have 320, but I'll just make another note. But okay, yeah.
Cool, that's it. The rest of the bodies are just pieces of parts. You can't even tell how many bodies there really were, but you surmise about 3.
Okay. So one body had the idol, the other body had 11.
Yeah, under the piles of gore there was 2 things, and one was
Fantastic.
spare credits and one was a stone idol.
Cool.
That's
cool,
about
cool,
it.
Cool.
Yeah, fuck
all right.
that, idol.
I mean, I'm gonna pocket it.
While you're
Just
doing
like-
this, Nova Stella back on the ship.
Hello.
Boy.
As the ship's been slowly rotating around the over the last couple of hours, you do think for a split second that you see tiny, 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 almost incomprehensible lights on the moon in the system. Like, much like you see, like, cities on Earth from space, you think you might see, like, very distant signs of habitation on the moon, maybe. You don't know for sure. It was a blink and you'll miss it kind of moment.
Mommy, did you happen to see that or no?
Scanning with camera. Yes, I have a recording of what you might have seen.
Alright, bring it up on the main.
Mommy enhances, Lamau.
Okay.
And you see it does look like tiny pinpricks of light coming from the moon's surface at the pole. Mommy has no records of the of this system. She doesn't know where you are, and there's nothing coming up over radar or comms, even long range.
Does the Alexis have escape pods?
Mm.
It doesn't appear so, based on the lack of
It's an archaeological ship, so probably not.
Looks like they got emergency escape vac suits from what you saw in the cargo hold, but no, there's no like pod chutes like you'd see on maybe a bigger vessel. If they did have a lifeboat like your own ship, it might have been blown out when the airlock depressurized the first time. Hard to tell. Hard to tell.
True. I go on public communications and go, hey guys, there might be someone living down on the moon. Or something. The signs of life. Not like dead life, but like life. Recently living people.
Was
Was it flickering lights?
Not flickering, stable.
As I'm moving through the bodies and stuff, I just like look at Sarna and be like, "Can you answer that, please?" And like give a response that I feel like you would think I would give. I keep like kind of fiddle fucking around the room.
Right.
I don't like the phrase fiddle fucking.
Nor will YouTube.
Don't worry,
Do
it's
not
been,
allow this man near a musician.
It's been 15. It's already past 15 seconds, so he's fine with the swearing.
I would say you're at probably 10 to 15 minutes remaining.
Cool. All right.
Oh no, you know
Any
what? 20.
Any sort of documents, clipboards,
Nope.
post-it notes.
It looks like it may have been, like, if there was anything, it's either been removed or destroyed. Or sucked out into
Alright,
space,
cool.
who knows?
Fantastic. No IDs on any of the bodies either? No name tags on strips of clothing or anything like that?
Nope.
Fantastic. Alright. Well, and I like clap my thighs. This was a bust.
Your thighs?
Yeah, like standing up and like, well...
Oh yeah, I see.
Suburban
Okay.
white guy stuff.
So you're clapping
Yeah,
your
yeah,
thighs together.
Dad-
I don't know why.
There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Yeah. No place
um,
like home.
Jesus. Anyway, hey. Christ.
Hey yo.
God damn you all. And I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Let's probably get out of here and take those two skeletons and maybe do a brief walk around the ship.
Yeah.
How big have I gotten this hole in the side with the laser cutter?
Where are you cutting, sorry? I missed that.
I'm just expanding the
the existing
shell
holes? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're cutting this side, right?
We'll say big enough that you
Yes.
could climb out with a vex suit.
All right. Sweet. Emergency exit. For now, I want to keep one of these skeletons, so I'm gonna head down here.
As you guys are talking, you hear more and more banging and thumping from where you heard it before, down in kind of the bottom left of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right,
That
cool. Well,
sounds
I'm
like
just gonna
we
go ahead and
faster.
get in this puppy and just out of sheer reflex say, "Get away from her, you bitch." All right, cool. This feels nice.
You get it. Everyone chuckles at the old Earth reference of the famed movie Alien. And you'll have a quiet chuckle. You can all remove one stress.
Yeah. Back to 2.
Actually,
let's go.
Are we able to go lower than our starting?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh,
would
well, in that
imagine.
case, time for me to go back to 1 stress.
Yeah, you hear it on the comms as well, Novus, so you can have it too.
Are these skeletons small enough to fit in our shuttle?
No, they're too big for that.
Probably not.
That shuttle's
They
small.
probably are legitimately just aliens like Ripley in it fighting the queen.
Yeah, it's basically that size, and then they fucking there's like a dump truck in that room with you, which is huge.
There's a what?
There's like a dump truck.
She's got a what?
Dumpy?
God damn it. And then
A big old dumpy?
and then you basically have the
Mommy, come
Halo
in.
you basically have the Halo life pod as your shuttle. So there's no way you're
Yeah.
fitting that thing on. You could maybe like attach it with ropes and like tow it through 0 G.
I'm gonna actually before going back to the atrium, I'm gonna like up to the dump truck and kind of like tap the side of the dump truck. You know how much shit you can put in this truck?
A whole dump load.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Don't be.
I say we Christmas tree strap this thing onto the roof of our shuttle.
Or we could
It's not
use
gonna fit
the
inside.
You could use
mean,
the docking cable to carry it, and
yeah, you
since
could literally
weight,
just
no
yeah,
weight.
just tow
Do you
rope
want
it.
this thing? Do you want this thing swinging around on a rope with
I mean,
a
just
not very armored shuttle?
An eerie quiet comes over the ship.
like just attach it to the ship via the cable and just have the cable retract to where it's no more than like a foot or two long, so it doesn't have enough momentum to like bang into the shuttle. And just because we have more than 5 minutes to get back. Yeah, I'm tracking Desert.
Yeah, from over there, the thumping stopped, and any kind of grinding metal you were hearing has just gone still. There's no
You
more
two get that
vibrations through the floor.
Cool,
You
cool,
two
cool,
get
cool,
that
cool,
sorted.
cool.
Stay clear of the engines. I'm gonna start this up, and let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm just gonna take this for a walk.
I'm gonna do the whole pre-flight, start up the engines.
Yep.
All right.
And like I'm facing into the cargo hold with the skeleton still on. I'm still like taking off my back the gun and like releasing the controls of the clamps and just like aiming my gun.
Yep.
into
So
the
it's
cargo
kind
hold.
of loosely floating, just above the deck, the skeleton, and I'm assuming it's attached to the Hannibal.
Oh no, we're attaching the one that Aaron is no longer in. I'm
okay,
gonna
so
stay
you're
in
still
this
in your one, and there's another one that's attached to the
Yeah.
Hannibal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hell,
Yep.
if we really want to, we could just have me like basically hug the top of the shuttle and yeah, like Christmas tree it, or I could hold the other one.
They're probably not that
While-
maneuverable, to be honest. They're not that like jointed.
Well, like you said, it's clamps, right? Like basically, like it was in Aliens, where it's
On
just
its
like.
feet,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, what about its like arms?
Its arms are like big hydraulic pincers and like digging tools.
Okay, well, yeah.
It
I was
doesn't
thinking-
have like little steppy hands and little tiny little toes.
No. I didn't. I didn't think it was anthropomorphic. I just thought it would have like vices as like hands, kind of thing.
They're pretty grippy,
was-
but yeah, there's not a lot to grab onto the rounded
Yeah.
shuttle hull. But like,
So here, I'll do this. I'll pick up the other one with this one, if that's a thing I can do.
in 0G, yeah, that's probably doable.
Yeah, and I'll just start slowly floating towards our ship, and then you can just fly past me, and then land, and then
Alright. Can you give
yeah,
me
do my-
Could you give me a strength check? With a.
Mine-
Can you give me the advantage of? So give me a strength check, killer, and use 0G as your bonus.
Can
do I just like?
One at a
Okay,
time,
so I'm
please.
just sorry. So I'm just adding 10 to
Yep.
my like
The target,
my
yeah.
plus or minus.
You
Okay,
should be able to
cool.
choose it when you're like, if you just click
there's-
0G.
Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, sorry. Like, still figuring this out.
No, it's all
So
good.
normal, you said?
Yep.
Or with advantage?
Normal.
No, it's normal. Okay.
Sana, I'm assuming you're still covering the entrances to the cargo hold?
Yep.
Cool. Alright, you lose grip of the other skeleton walker while you're basically like in 0G traveling between the two ships, and it kind of just like moves ahead of you, accelerating a little bit faster, like it's got a little bit more inertia, and it basically slams into our ship's like cargo bay, and damages like a league server a little bit on the skeleton. Yeah.
Damages a what?
Like a
Oh,
like a
okay,
league
gotcha.
server, like on that walker.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not broken, but
Alright.
it's not great.
Okay.
But
cool.
the
As
one
long
you're
as
in
it's
makes it over,
fixable,
okay? Yeah.
Alright. As long as it's fixable and we didn't damage the actual ship, that's okay.
Doesn't appear so.
Okay, cool.
Phil comes down and goes, "What the hell?" Like in his vac suit over the comms, and then he like goes back inside, back to his like bed, after inspecting the damage and relaying it to you.
Okay. Also,
Sorry,
just
while this is
out
happening,
of-
what are you doing, Aaron?
Once Cerna's back on the ship, I was going to like hover right around. Killer.
Damien?
Yeah, I was gonna hover around him and just kind of nudge him back on course if he was off by a little bit or needed something to push off of or whatever. Just kind of help him get back into the shuttle or cargo bay.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, I'm in the cargo bay.
You don't make it to him in time to like stop the other skeleton crashing into the cargo bay, but like other than that, you're all fine.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we want to
Also-
leave it there for today?
That'd be a
Yeah,
good
I was,
idea.
I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Cool.
But
I do
now
have
Phil has
concern,
something to
actually.
do when he gets back next time. He can fix the leg servo on that thing.
I do have a concern, actually. We should probably
Oh.
keep those off of our ship. Just hold the next pulse to make sure they're not tainted or anything. They were on that ship for quite some time.
All right. So what? Just like get some winches and just kind of dangle them out the back, or
Off the side, yeah.
all right, we can do that.
Yep. So you guys are back in the cargo hold. Phil's in his like, I'm gonna say he's in like quarters.
If this thing is infected, if this thing is infectious, I want to quarantine anything that we're going to be bringing on our ship before that pulse, and
Yeah, you're
make
good.
sure it doesn't spread to our ship, because that is not a good thing to have. Slightly worse than cooties, I'm told.
Okay, so should you and I also quarantine then?
We weren't on that ship for any of these pulses.
No, I just mean like we were operating the machines.
I don't think, but outside of the pulses, that this is a active thing. It's likely inert, either that or the damage is already done. We've been in and out of their ship a couple times.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
You could
Yeah, that's
probably,
fine.
no, with your knowledge of how the pulses work, at least as far as you can tell so far, Novus, that's probably something you could maybe like run a test for. You could probably fashion some sort of scanner using your medical scanner and like the knowledge of the data you've collected so far to make some way of detecting pulse like energy. Whatever you want to call it, you can term it however you like, but that energy you're feeling or sensing.
Alright then. I guess I just start plugging information in. Suit up in my what's it called?
Yeah.
Hazmat suit or
Do you want to give me?
something?
Do you
My
want to? Do you want to give me an intellect test, and you can use your. You can use your physics as a bonus.
Sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh.
So you basically start inputting the data you've been collecting so far. I feel like it's kind of basic working algorithm to detect the, the missing data or like the difference between lack of it and then when that energy is present, and you can now basically scan individuals for the data.
I'm gonna lean towards Sarna. Aside from the initial impression I got from her, this boozer's actually pretty good at their job.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's. Mommy,
Mummy here.
could you calculate? It's gonna be a lot of number crushing now that I think about it. Calculate what velocity and angle of descent we would need to crash the Atlas directly into the source of this pulse on the planet, and the time that a average reactor meltdown would need to go supercritical on the surface or in the surface or wherever it needs to be.
You mean
want to
sending the
use-
Alexis in manually is what you're saying with the reactor rig to blow?
Yes, I want to use the Alexis as a missile and blow up that whatever it is.
That's going to be real tricky without localized thrusters. Trying to basically bowling ball another ship bigger than us into orbit is going to be hard, let alone send it on a crash course. I'll run some diagnostics and algorithms. It'll
We'll
take
see
some
what we
time.
can do about local thruster.
Alright.
Thank you, Mommy.
Alright, I think that's a good leaving point.
Oh, can I just scan them down at least so we can
Yep.
end on a possible cliffhanger?
Yep. So, can you give me a an intellect check with your... You know what, you can just keep using physics. I would also accept medical stuff, but I'll say physics, intellect physics checks per person. You want to scan?
Okay, do I have to include the, what do you call them, the mix?
Then they're not biological, and you haven't worked out a way to sense it on in
Sweet,
unliving.
so I just have to do two?
Because you've basically rigged it to your medical scanner, and the cybernetic scanner is not going to be appropriate. So you're basically using the medical scanner to scan for the particles or energy or whatever it is on people.
Yeah.
And all three are successful. So you basically scan Aaron, Lolly. Sorry, Lolly.
You only did 2 so far.
Yeah.
43 and the 9. The
Wait, do I
first
have to
one
do
was
more?
for the energy signature.
Yeah. How many
so-
people have went on the ship?
Well, you've checked Aaron, Sana, and Damien, and all three have. Well, while Aaron's result gives you an android answer, like it's not a living biological form, it still has enough resembling humans to work with. And there's nothing dermal, like there's nothing on the skin, and yeah, you're not detecting any of those the energy waves, apart from what the ship sensors are detecting from far beyond this area, and potentially in the cargo hold. Their cargo hold, I mean, specifically. Like, you're not getting any signals from here on the Kahadasht. No one's infected, basically. Sorry, you were saying, Aaron?
It seems inert beyond those pulses, which means we can, with some degree of safety, explore the other ship. It's also possible that it just hasn't become a contaminant yet, so I wouldn't linger too long.
Yeah. Yeah, not to state the obvious, but yeah, we should still very much avoid the pulses. But it's good that we know it's not just a potential radius thing, or maybe we just haven't been there long enough, but I do think we should keep these bursts going. Obviously when we pick up next time, but I think what we have right now is a good system of coming and going and coming and going, just missing the pulses.
Yeah.
Going to want to deal with that thing in the back of the ship. And then we're also going to want to consider having Phil getting over there to repair their thrusters so we can actually get this thing moving at a reasonable speed towards the planet.
Yeah. I think we have a
Otherwise-
good... Sorry, keep talking.
Otherwise, we're going to be pushing a ship, 2-3 times larger than ours, and that's not going to get a lot with how omnidirectional our thrusters are.
Yeah. We'd have to hit... Yeah, the odds of us getting it exactly where we want it to go are, like, slim to none. And that's with the hope that it would even do anything. But, I mean, that's another thing.
Mommy comes back with her calculations and surmises it would basically have to be set on a crash course from its own control terminal with its own thrusters, like pushing it or towing it. You wouldn't have any sort of accuracy flinging it into the planet.
Yeah.
The Kahadash would probably struggle too with just the sheer mass of the Alexis. It's like double the length and taller. Like, it's got a lot more tonnage than we do. Doable, but slow, and hard to control unless you get it. Basically, the Alexis working again as its own ship.
Yeah, it's like an SUV trying to tow a bus.
Yeah,
It's like not super doable.
yeah, doable, but it's gonna be hard, and you're gonna need some factors. But she basically calculates that from there she could give you a remote nav program to basically fly it in if it was working order.
Yeah. But I think we have a good order of like objectives to do. Like, still think we should do a walk of
Come
the
on in.
ship, try to find an
Sorry, one second.
alternate way of entering.
Sorry? Oh, awesome, thank you. 1 second. I am. Sorry, you were saying, Killer?
We do have a good like list of things to do. So like, do a walk around the ship, or just take the shuttle and just do like a float around kind of orbit of the ship.
Yeah,
See
right
if
now
there's
it's
any
stationary, so
Any other access points? Yeah.
you've got plenty of ways to kind of do stuff with it. Alright.
Yeah.
Was there anything else in character you guys wanted to do before we come back to the next session? Just like where we were?
I have one more question for Mommy.
Sure.
Call me paranoid, but is this ship in a suspiciously geosynchronous orbit with the pulse from the surface of the planet? Is this moving across the surface of the planet, or is it hovering over this relatively same spot since we've gotten here?
Scanning. With the data Novus has collected, we can surmise that the energy pulses are separate from the energy from the planet, but the same type. The energy from the planet is constant rather than pulsing every 47 minutes. And appears to be localized to a small area. And by small, I mean, my senses can pick up a huge radius, so it's still...
Yeah,
you
small
know,
meaning
continental.
miles
It's
and
it's
miles.
continental
Yeah.
region. It's not. I don't have it pinpointed down to within kilometers yet.
And also, honestly, like, I wouldn't expect us to be able to pinpoint it. It would just be such like a large surface.
I'm also not
If this-
getting. I'm not getting anything from the moon. Nothing. No settlements. No radar. No long range comms.
Gravitational pull, at least?
Pretty minimal. Pretty minimal gravity pull from the density of both the planet and the star and the moon. We're definitely in orbit around the sun, though. I think we're caught in the same orbit time schedule, basically, as the moon and the planet.
Okay.
I have one question if you don't have any more. Let's go.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Mommy, do you have the capabilities to scan
Wait one.
Yeah, topography of the moon.
Wait one. Passing data. As you say that, you basically see the monitor zoom in several times, as the external cameras are swiveled to kind of a point around the equator of the planet, and then you see it pan across to the moon, and as you do, you basically notice in orbit around both the planet and the moon, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of derelict craft. Ruins and ruins of broken and destroyed and ancient spaceships of all models and makes and color schemes. You even see a few meteor core ships in amongst the debris as Mommy starts visually analyzing the data at an entirely high rate. You start seeing flashing names and designations, and it appears like a lot of ships have been here. Lost to time.
For clarification, these are also floating around, or these are like crash landed on the surface?
Floating around. It's like it's like an asteroid belt that you didn't see before. That's it's required very, very deep visual scanning to see. Mommy's only kind of just passed the visual data because it wasn't coming up on proximity or radar.
Well, yeah, I mean, we wouldn't think to scan for it because we'd be like, oh, if it's asteroids, it would be a certain size.
That probably explains why there was a lack of stars. It could be just blocked from all the fucking wreckage.
Potentially, you're starting to see that, like, as the dead kind of quiet sun is coming around the side of the planet more and more as the quote unquote morning begins. It's making it easy for Mommy to see things visually around orbits, and there is a lot of derelicts around here.
Yeah, just a huge, bright sun with a shit ton of like black dots in front of it.
Yep. It's basically you're in what appears to be a giant space graveyard.
Cool.
What I wouldn't give for one normal job.
And on that note, I think we'll call it for tonight.
All right.
Oh boy, I had messaged Lolly in our DMs. I was like, dude, right before doing this and True, I had just watched a playthrough of the remake of Dead Space. God damn it.
Yeah, and kept responding to him like, "Yeah, that's a fucking marker and shit like that."
What's your full name, Damien? Like, what's your character's full name? Damien, is it Moore?
Damien Moore, Moore.
Okay, I'm just adding you to the ship manifest.
Yeah, we've been
I wanted
moored
to-
in this part of space.
Me like finger gunning towards Sarsa, like
So, one of my suspicions is not true as far as I can tell, which is good, because I thought we were in a suspiciously geosynchronous orbit and we had 0 ground speed compared to the planet, and we were just hovering over the same spot in its atmosphere, which would be suspiciously like a fucking satellite for this thing.
Yeah. I mean, more or
So
less
it's
like the Ishimura was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what came to mind.
Yep.
Why? That's
I-
weird. Okay.
What the hell is the Ishimura? this is the Alexis. What are you talking about?
Just quietly turns this music off. I don't know what the issue. I don't know what the Ishimura is. Don't worry about it. I will say, don't spoil it for yourself too much by going back and watching my VOD if you can avoid it while we're still playing this campaign. Just because obviously the notes I'm looking at have like a lot of spoilers for you guys specifically.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, no, it's muted in another tab just so you can get a view.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't mind you doing
Yeah,
that because
that's what I'm doing.
that definitely helps me, so I appreciate that. But like, I just don't want to like spoil things for you with like the ship layout or things you discover later or.
Yeah, it's a lot less fun.
Oh, I do have a picture of the obelisk for you though, the artifact you found.
Oh boy, I can't wait for this
Ooh.
like great value version of
Marker.
the marker. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see the little. I want to just
Dollar store
the next
marker.
the next 20 minutes while we're waiting for the pulse to go off. I'm just staring at the idol that I got.
The thing you.
Mom, can we get Eldritch Horrors? We have Eldritch Horrors at home.
Yeah, me just like
Eldritch
slack
Horrors
jawed.
from-
Lolly's like tapping the back of my vacuum suit, and like there's just like no response. Turn around, it's just like a black helmet. Like no, can't even see anything inside.
There you go.
Ooh,
I see.
wow, look at that! Ain't that neat?
Ah. You know, I don't think I'm ever going to regret telling my gunner to blindly fire through an airlock. It has worked every time so far.
When in doubt, light it up.
I'm not
Well,
gonna-
on that
I'm
note,
not gonna lie.
I'm gonna end the stream there.
When the go
Hope you enjoyed.
Man.
God damn it.